And we are live. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Aaron the dog here with the UFC 285 betting breakdown show. Back for the first time in a long time. We don't know when he'll be back. He's a busy man now, but he's got the blurry background. It is the person whose StreamYard I use to this day still. Thank you, Norton MMA. Lewis, also known as. Good to see you, man. How you doing?
Yeah, good, man. Is also keeping the full reptile collective. I got to get Owen to send you some stuff
someone
now.
was like, what's the full reptile? I'm like,
yeah. Keep the sponsor alive, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but good to see you, man. It's been a while. Super pumped for this card. I'll be honest. This is one of the ones. I won't say I'm not confident on it. I've just openly been going back and forth on 7 of the fights. But how are you feeling? What have you thought about MMA so far, kind of in 2023, since this is our kind of first time catching up in a while, or the last couple months? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think MMA this year has been lower than normal. It's not been as exciting in my head.
Sending you a lot of angry DMs.
Yeah, honestly, it's been lackluster. But these are the sort of cards which is what the UFC should be delivering instead of the watered down boxing cards they have been doing the last 2 months since the award show we did. So, I mean, the fact that I was more excited about Jake Paul and Tommy Fury last week than I have been about any UFC card this year means a lot, you know. And so I'm excited, especially because Valentina's back and she's my favorite. So.
Yeah, finally Valentina can get back in the win column after her loss. Wade, actually, she got a win in that her headbutt win, which I will stand by. Santos.
Win's a win.
Yep. Best strike of the fight was a headbutt, but we'll talk in a little bit here. But glad to have you back on, and
Thanks,
so is Justin, who Justin knows. If anybody has taste, it's Mr. Villegas. Speaking of taste, Lou Betya of MMA Engine returns. How you doing, my friend?
Fantastic.
You are the comic relief only, as you always say.
That's all I'm here for.
Exactly. No knowledge.
Not opinions. And Yambag props.
Yambag props as well, yes.
Yeah, I'm excited to explain to Norton what that is as this card progresses.
But, he's a fan. He's been watching. He knows.
Yeah.
You have to do a more in-depth explanation, but I know a bit.
Well, there was a ton of ball shots last week, so.
Just missing out on them. We hate to see it. But
I feel good about it's good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I read your mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel very good about the bets that I have in, and I feel very good about not betting the fights that I do not have bets on currently. I also feel good DFS wise, so happy to share what I think. First fight doesn't have prices, but I'm pretty sure I know what they're going to be priced at. So
nice.
Let's go.
Yeah, super pumped here. I think that we are going to not just be saying the same 4 things on this show today. We definitely have unique perspectives we're coming from this at. Lewis himself has been in some combat sporting situations, so you can actually talk to that. I sit on the sideline and talk shit about it since I quit karate when they did not give me my yellow belt. After I gave them the ultimatum, I said, either give me my yellow belt or I'm quitting. My sensei let me quit. I can't believe it. I don't understand what the lesson was there. Just my 2 cents. Waffles. How you doing today?
What's up, boys? I am doing well. I'm awesome. Norton, good to meet you, dude. Good to put a face to the name. I'm sorry I can't return the favor, but good to finally be on panel with you. Lou, what's up? Shout out to the boys in the chat. Yeah, man, you can see what the avatar is. I have to echo the sentiment of having no idea how some of these fights are going to go. I've been waffling like a motherfucker, and it just seemed all too appropriate. But yeah, man, if I was just a fan and didn't have to predict these fights or bet on these fights, I would love this card. But because I have to, dude, I don't know, but I am pumped to talk about them.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, this is one that I have no idea what the results will be on Sunday. So, if you want to come with the hindsight comments after for this one, they might be good, they might be bad. And if I end up with a good night on Sunday, I will be celebrating it. But there's no way I'm going to be like, I knew it. This is not that card. Headlined by John Jones and Cyril Gane. I don't know if I even said all that, but you know what the 285 card is about. Bo Nickel is on there. I mean, Jamie Pickett is on there. Sorry. Jamie Pickett makes his I believe this is his pay-per-view debut after his sparkling start in his UFC career. But let's finally start this one off here. Let me grab the old trusty timestamp whiteboard because that's how we keep track of the timestamps on this channel, because it's only the highest of production value. But starting in the 155 pound division, we've got a newcomer, but a guy who we all should be familiar with if we're familiar with the PFL, Loik Radzabanov, making his UFC debut against the debutant from the Contender Series, Esteban Ribovics. El Gringo versus Jaguar Paw. So really solid nickname to start out the night, if nothing else. But I think this should be a good fight. I like both these guys from the tape I've watched on them. Esteban, obviously, all the finishes on the record, the 5-6, 5 submissions, 6 KOs. Yeah, I was all over Thomas Paul on the Contender Series. Everybody, probably, if you did watch my breakdown, remembers I was hammering that home, and I felt good about it until Gianni picked him right before the fight. So that's not my fault. That's Gianni's fault from that legendary run he had on the Contender Series last season. But I mean, he did look really, really good in the Thomas Paul fight, I'll be honest. And Thomas Paul was, he's not UFC level. I get that, but he's not a guy who you just go in there and run over like that, at least not from his previous few fights. And Ribovics just looked to have really good, accurate strikes. And I go back and I watch his tape, and I get it. He's not facing a crazy level of competition, but a few of those fights he did, and he looks to keep a good pace throughout. It's straight shots versus looping shots for Loik Radzabanov too, but Radzabanov tough as nails. So I do think that with Radzabanov hasn't been finished by much better competition. So Ribovics has to do something he hasn't done in his career, and that's go to a decision. I think most likely. I think Radzabanov most likely can hang with him on the feet, but will use his wrestling, get the top control, and probably show levels to this. So the thing I don't like is Loik is taking this on very short notice. Ribovics been preparing for this since the Contender Series. Ribovics probably does have a gas advantage too, because that is how Loik has lost before. And there's a first time for everything too. So who knows if he does get cracked. So first fight of the night, when I first looked at this, I was all over Loik Radzabanov, honestly. But I really kind of don't like the habit he has for fighting to his level of competition. I don't know how he reacts to fighting in the UFC for the first time. He's a little bit older as well. I'm actually going with Esteban Ribovics to do something he has yet to do in his career, and it's to get a decision. I can't get there on the KO, and it's not a fight I'm looking to bet, but I think this line's way off. I don't like Radzabanov taking this on short notice, so I got the Argentinian Esteban Ribovics by decision. I'm going to start with Lewis. It's been so long since I've heard him speak about a fight. So, Lewis, I know I said Lou, you were going to start off, but Lewis, go ahead and give me your breakdown on this fight.
Yeah, man. Well, I agree with you. To be honest, I'm on Esteban for this one, and I'm a bigger Thomas Paul fan than most, obviously, because watched him since he was an amateur. He's not UFC level, but he's as close as you can get without being it. He's just the next step down. I don't like Radzabanov, to be honest, from PFL. I think he was extremely overrated. I think he's got some good qualities, but there's so many holes in his game. And the main one is the movement. The explosivity of Esteban, I think, is just why he chases the finish the whole time. And he's extremely good at grabbing limbs. As soon as he gets that underhook against the cage, he starts grabbing wrists. And he Dagestani handcuffs you basically from a standing position, which isn't looked at enough. And Loik is basically just a standard box wrestler that doesn't have the explosivity, I would say, as an Esteban does. I think he's got like slow twitch muscle fibers. And I don't like that against someone like Esteban, because Thomas Paul has slow twitch. He builds into a fight, and I think Loik does as well. And that's every time he loses is because he loses the first he loses the first 2 rounds and he comes back. I don't think you can kind of give the first round away to Esteban. He's just so fast and dangerous, and I actually think he could knock him out.
Yeah, I would love to see that. So you got Esteban by KO then?
Yeah, I've got him by first round. Yeah.
All right, Esteban, first round KO, starting out with a bang. Betya, what's your thoughts on this one?
DraftKings has first round KO at plus 1100. In case you are curious about that prop, let's make it 3 for 3. I'm on the Ribovic side here as well.
Wow.
I have no bet yet, but this line's still moving. I mean, he's gone to, even his money line right now is up to plus 230. I think that's a 25-cent difference since this morning. So Loic's getting a lot of action here, but I don't know. He's kind of boilerplate. You know, I don't think he's fast. His entries are okay. I think he can easily get caught on one, but I don't know, taking this on short notice, is he going to be able to really push a wrestling pace for 15 minutes? I don't know that he can. Look, big question marks about Ribovic's cardio, I guess. You know, like we talked before the show, I'm getting some Prado vibes from him. He's better than Prado. It's more that I'm getting like we just saw this kind of situation when we get an Argentinian who comes in, explosive fighter against a vet, although be it not a UFC veteran in this case in Loic, but still a vet.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm going to bet this yet. If the line keeps going, it's going to become a must play. Even at plus 230, maybe it's a must play. From the DFS perspective, there are no salaries listed. I can tell you right now, it's probably going to be 9K Loic, 7,200 Ribovic, just because there's no 9,000 fighter. I feel like it'll slot in there. And at 7,200, the guy's got a lot of finish upside. He has some sneaky ground upside, but I think he's going to be the fresher guy. And even just any kind of win at 7,200, he's completely 10xing. You're getting tons of value for him. If he gets a finish, like you could win at 100, you could win the tournament having a guy like this. It's a cheap salary. So
yeah,
I would never play Loic here in DFS. I mean, if you're going to play him like a 20 max, super low owned, because yeah, he's going to get takedowns. That's good potential, but I don't see him getting a finish. And at 9K, just a decision win with some takedowns. And he doesn't throw a shitload of strikes on the ground either. So he's going to get you control time and a couple of takedowns, but he's not going to get you like a ton of points. I would avoid him, but 7,200 Ribovic is definitely something I'm going to have ownership on.
All right. Appreciate it. And just real quick, Andre Muniz, Wolf tickets, as said on this show. Holy shit. Wish I could have gone there on the Brendan Allen stuff, though. But yeah, Brendan Allen, easy money last week at plus 200 almost. Jokes. Just my 2 cents. Are you completing the sweep on Ribovic so that we can all be nervous, or are you going to go on Loic and be a square?
Hell fucking no, dude. This is sad that I'm the one that has to bring order to the chaos, but I am oddly confident in Loic Radzhabov, Radzhabov, or however the fuck you pronounce his name.
Radzhabov.
I think he's got a big grappling advantage here. And the reason I'm picking him is I did not like what I saw from Ribovic in the, how do you pronounce this guy's name? Jose
Zaludis.
Yeah, he looked really bad in the third round of that fight. He gave up his back. He got taken down really easily. The short notice does worry me about Loic, but he's not trash on the feet, dude. He actually does hit with some power, and Ribovic ain't fucking fought nobody. You can try and polish that Thomas Paul turd, but like that's every bit like his wins over Martinez. I think that's as good, if not a better win. He's definitely fought better competition. I like his experience. I like the grappling. I think he's just going to wrestle fuck him, dude. I think he knows it's short notice and he's not going to try anything crazy on the feet. I think he's going to go grapple heavy. I think fucking Ribovic, he reminds me of Alves. He has that one fucking move. If you try and take him down, he pulls that fucking Kimura. I don't think that's going to work. I've seen Loic get out of that before, like just roll through it. And dude, what I like about him too, he's a fucking grinder. He will grind through that grappling. He'll grind through being tired. Esteban, I think he's going to get exposed as like a debutante hype job. So give me Loic.
All right. We go 3-1 with Ribovic plus.
Question for that though. Weight cut an issue for you with Loic, considering he normally has to catch weight if he's a short notice.
Yeah,
welterweight.
I'm worried.
He's cutting to 155 in like 2 weeks.
I'm worried about the short notice for sure. Like I'm not betting this fight. Like the line is way too wide, especially for short notice. But I think he's just a better fighter with more experience. Like some of the guys that Ribovic has fought are really, really, really shitty. So yeah, give me Loic.
All right.
If he makes weight.
Yeah, if he makes weight, and if he doesn't make weight, you still get that bet.
Dude,
as
I
long
would be
as the fight
perfectly
goes.
happy with that one getting scrapped.
Yeah, but minus 275 on Loic. Yeah, and at this point, no bets on Ribovic, but I'm thinking about it. So we'll see. Noah definitely on. I believe Noah's on your side. 2 cents with a brain. Let's see. Thai Argentinian bum has only fought trash. Yeah,
bum's a bit harsh.
Yeah, that's rough, but
but I'm pretty sure
that's a bit harsh.
And Flamingo is a bum, dude. Brian, he literally fought a fucking flamingo, and that guy is that dude's like 4-8. He's a bum.
Calling Esteban a bum is a bit harsh.
It's weird that's his other account in chat though. That just went 2 cents is also Noah Allen.
Exactly.
But like it's weird.
We're moving on to the next fight here, which I'm sure will have some opinions, but this is at 35 pounds bantamweight fight here between Damon Blackshear and Farid Basharat. Dog barking in the background. Farid is 9-0, taking on the 12-4 veteran who has not lost since facing some guy named Danny Sabatello, who should be. All right, I'm going to take care of this dog real quick because, of course, they're barking. So, hey, Lou, you want to start out with this fight, and I'll be right back?
Sure. I mean, I'm never betting it at this number. If you want to go decision prop, it's minus 115. That's kind of reasonable. But this line's wide to me for 2 reasons. You're getting the Basharat name. You're paying a tax on it. Like, he's going to pay for, like, his brother being good at this point. He's looked good in his limited time in the UFC, don't get me wrong, but I don't know that he should be 5-1 here. And I think we're also getting this number because Blackshear's death gas in the 3rd round against Zalal, where he took that fight on short notice. He won the first 2 rounds against a UFC vet. Whatever you think of Zalal, he's, not the worst guy they have in the division. And he did all right, especially in the grappling. I don't think he's going to be able to get much grappling going here. But I don't know if Farid's a finisher at this level yet. We know Javid isn't yet. I mean, he's kind of minus P's and Q's. The way they fight similar in that they're both pretty patient. They're like downloading data in the first round. Like, they don't fight recklessly. Javid especially, but Farid's kind of he's a little more explosive, fights a little more urgency than Javid does, but still, he's patient. He doesn't make mistakes. I think he's just going to wait out Blackshear a little bit, kind of just punch and pepper him in the first round. And if a takedown's there late, maybe he goes for it. But I see Farid decision here. I'm never betting it at this number. 490 is insanity. I'm never playing him in DraftKings at his salary. He's $9,100. I don't want anybody on this card winning in a decision, like, period. So for me, this is a pass. The square bet would be Farid minus 115 decision. But and Blackshear's pretty tough, dude. So I think if you want to play a time prop, I think goes the distance is probably safe too. I may as well just pass it to just my 2 cents right now.
Yeah, I think the line is wide. It's almost like unbettable range, like prohibitive favorite or whatever. But I do think he wins the fight. I think he's a considerably better striker than Blackshear, and I kind of think he just stays on the outside, tunes him up, looks good, but doesn't get. I don't think him or his brother are like incredibly powerful, and I think that's like the one thing that keeps them from getting these highlight reel finishes. But I do think he's a better like overall fighter. I think he'll try and keep it on the feet and.
Sorry about that, guys.
Win a. You're good. But yeah, give me Farid to win a decision.
All right, and Lewis, did you go yet?
No. I nothing I can say has not been said. Pretty much all my notes are he's not strong enough. He's not powerful enough to end fights. He needs submissions to end it. I mean, he's got a head kick knockout back in the day. I think that was like a fair few years ago. And I was actually there for that one, which was awesome. But I think it was against Stuart Eskin, if I remember it. But I think Farid is just a decision monster at this point, especially in the UFC like his brother. I think it's boring, but that is the pick.
Yeah, they're trying really hard, I think, with this line. I think this is a good example of what Noah was talking about, of lines trying to force the dog bet here. I get it. Blackshear had those 2 good rounds against Zalal on very short notice. Now getting a full camp. He's not lost since losing to Sabatello. I think he can make this closer, so betting Farid is pointless. Farid gets a decision, though. And he really, Fareed, we're talking about another Contender Series guy here. His Contender Series win over Bagoso, much more legitimate than Thomas Paul. And he 30-26 Bagoso, who, again, is a guy who I had a bet on that night and was much more confident in Bagoso. And he just was completely shut down everywhere by Fareed. I think Fareed's getting better. And I think that, this is a really tough test, though, and not a spot where I want him at whatever his number is at this point. Like, it's just, it's stupid. It's almost minus 500. It should not be. Nothing really else to say there. Sorry about the dog issue. Of course, he had to go out when I walked him 10 minutes before this. So you can thank Fitz for that one. Shout out to Golden Retrievers for being annoying dogs. But next fight on the agenda, an annoying fight with maybe an annoying dog winning. Jessica Penne versus Tabitha Ricci. Wow. This fight has been rebooked, and now since it's been rebooked, Tabitha Ricci's gained like 70 points on the fight before. So I guess if you were on Penne before, congratulations, you can get her now. Penne doesn't fight well against short girls. I get it that, Daniel Taylor and others fight very differently, but Jessica Penne just doesn't use her length and her reach at all. She needs to be in close. She needs to walk through, and then I just think Tabitha Ricci is going to have enough to get on top of her and be slightly better at grappling. It's probably going to be close, probably going to be a round where Penne has this success and then 2 where Ricci does, or vice versa. I don't see there being a finish in this fight. And if we're going through my old rule, low-level women's MMA, if it's plus 200 or more, you bet the dog, and you're going to be profitable, period. Jessica Penne, she lost to Lupita Godinez and got a win in that fight somehow. And I'm not losing any more money betting for against Jessica Penne here. So that's just all I really have to say about that. I'm just going to say that Ricci gets a decision, but 2 cents, you get to leave this one off.
Yay. No, man, I feel pretty much the same way. Like Tabitha, I'm not betting on her. Like I really don't like betting on this low level of women's MMA, even though I fucking do it way more than I want to. But I think Penne has really shitty takedown defense. Tabitha loves to go to the grappling and the wrestling. I think she's just going to kind of maybe even kind of ragdoll her a little bit, give her a little bit of a wrestle fucking, and we get some of that. We get some nice viewpoints for the gentleman of culture. But I think Tabitha Ricci just wins the decision, and we get to see that booty up in the air. And
I mean, you are paying for that ass. You are paying for that ass every.
I'm definitely not betting it, but yeah, I'm a picker. I think she wins the decision.
Yeah. All right, Lou, what's your thoughts on this one?
Lou or Lewis?
God, here we go. Norden. Here, we'll go with Norden. Norden, what's your thoughts? I'm going to go down. We're just going to go down.
Okay, we're going to go down. We're going to go down. Change your name.
The nightmare has started.
That's fine. No, Lewis, the only word Norden. I have one name written here, and I just wrote John Fitch for this fight. So that logic was all my tape studying on Tabitha is just lay and pray, and that's all I can think of for this fight. I don't dislike these women, but I don't really. This is what you call the steak fight. This is
sizzle, sizzle, sizzle.
I'm gonna go to the Lou when this happens.
You have Ricci officially as your pick.
A really boring decision for Ricci. Yeah.
All right, we've almost been a clean sweep so far. Besides 2 cents.
Sorry to be boring.
Besides 2 cents going with that Loic Radzabanov guy.
He'll prove us right.
Lou, are you going with Ricci or are you going with Miss Penne?
No, I'm going to go with Ricci. I'm not betting this one either. I'm never playing it in DraftKings. I was looking to see if Prize Picks would have an over-under on takedowns here. I don't see it right now. I just see significant strikes for Ricci. I would probably never play the under at 45.5. But
we're going to see some significant strike rounds of 6-5 and significant strikes.
I mean, honestly, if you have to bet this fight, and if you're just somebody that feels like you need to, fight goes the distance is minus 280. It's 20 cents cheaper than taking Ricci, and then you cover your weird she can't get takedowns going scenario. So total pass for me. Over seems pretty safe. But, everybody hating on Penne for being 40. Fuck you. Nothing wrong. All right. Nothing wrong with being in your 40s, man.
Yeah, no,
So,
of course not. No, yeah, no, we're all getting closer to that by the day. Some of us are already there, and yeah, again, if you have good eyesight, you can see the first 3 fights of the night. I'm not expecting much violence. I got decision. I have like an hour and a half of these 3 fights, basically with the filler and everything, and seeing John Jones swim over and over again. So prepare for a slow start to the night because we're going to see John jumping into pools a lot, talking about his backstroke. We'll talk more about his back in a little bit. Minus 300 on Tabitha Ricci.
I like that. I like that prop in chat. If it's 2.5 takedowns, I do like that.
Okay, 2 point for sure.
I don't want
to bet or make any money lose any money on this fight. Plus 240 on Penne. It's trying to tempt us into the bet there, but here we go. Moving on to the next fight, beginning of the card. Lewis, you want to? I think it's you with the background noise. Can you just mute when you're not? Do you mind?
Yeah, no problem, man.
Okay, thanks.
You're making too much noise, man.
No, it's fine. It's fine. The missus is fine. Hi, the missus. How are you? Good to get long time no talk. I was trying to be professional. Anyways,
shut up.
That's what I said. Exactly. My whiteboard says, all right, here we go. Mana Martinez versus Cameron Seaman, as I call him, because I like to make fun of him, but it is Simon. This is an interesting fight. I've been thinking quite a bit about this one. I am just not a big believer in Cameron Simon at all. It's not a matter of if, it's just when. I think he kind of gets exposed here. There's a lot of holes in his game. I think that he needs to go to grappling and wrestling in this fight because I do think Mana Martinez working with Crazy Bob Cook, I do like that quite a bit for him. He's going to a new camp. Hopefully he can kind of think less and just go out there and flow, because when he does, I get just my 2 cents is going to shit on Mana Martinez for struggling with Brandon Davis. Go back and watch that fight. That was no split decision. There's 4 knockdowns that Mana Martinez has had overall in 2 of his fights that were close. So it's just he takes his time to turn it on. But I think if this fight's on the feet, Mana could put him in danger early and often. And Cameron, if he starts to panic wrestle and doesn't work, that's when I think there could be really a chance for Simon to be completely exposed. Gotten close already. The Kozlov fight showed me everything I needed to know. A hugely illegal knee changed that fight. Kozlov should have stopped fighting. He didn't. And then you saw the results afterwards of a short notice guy who had an injury, basically. I like Mana Martinez here, man. This price is not what tricked me into it either. I would have bet this at a much closer price, but at this price, I am betting Mana Martinez. I do think he gets the finish as well, somewhere inside the first 2 rounds. Cameron Simon's waiting to get exposed, and I think Mana Martinez has kind of gotten his own way in a lot of his fights, and he's away from Saif Saud, who anybody who knows me knows how I feel about that dude. When the fight isn't going his way, he's one of the worst coaches, I feel like, to change the adjustment. He's just like, care more, go for it more, do it more. It's terrible, Fortis MMA. You just are lucky to have uber talent in your camp. I don't think it's your coach. But my pick is Mana Martinez. I have, I believe, a 2nd round KO, but I would love to see him just come out and kind of unleash early. But to me, I think Cameron Simon, is not what he's being sold here. I think he's a little bit of wolf tickets, and I think he finally gets exposed about a full camp fighter here. So give me Mana, 2nd round TKO. Let's go with Betya. You can start this one off.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Shinobi the pillow, huh? So if you look at Martinez's run, his coach passed away a few days. So forgivable that he didn't get Canetti out of there. Then he faces Ronnie Lawrence, which is, for a guy that doesn't really have any takedown defense, it was the worst stylistic matchup for him possible. But in the 3rd round of that fight, I get it. He got knocked down by a guy who's primarily a grappler. 3rd round of that fight, Martinez was guns a-blazing, trying to win that fight. There was no quitting him, and I liked it. I think he beat Brandon Davis. Unanimous decision. Same thing, though. In that 3rd round, after Krause clearly clearly had a massive wager on the finish. So clearly that he had the KO prop. He went out there and he tried, man. He stopped goofing around. And I agree with something you said. Martinez gets in his own way. If you look at the Simon side, the 2 fights that he's had under the UFC banner in the Contender Series and against Kozlov, he lost the first round. This guy's a slow starter. Martinez, slow starter against Lawrence because Lawrence just pinned him, for 5 minutes. But if you think Martinez can win the first round and you know that Martinez hangs in there till the end, he's very live to win the 3rd round as well. So I think the value's on Martinez. I do not like him by finish like you do, however. I like a decision prop here.
Okay.
I know. Mana Martinez decisions plus 600. I think that's a solid price. Look, as we've seen Simon get hurt a little bit, but we still have never seen him like to the point where you think he's going to get finished and he's had a miracle recovery. So I don't really know how he responds to adversity here if he does get just battered in the 3rd round. So, and Martinez, look, he hasn't shown finishing ability at this level at this point. So I don't want to assume that all of a sudden he's knocking out a guy that's never lost. So I like Martinez by decision at plus 600 here. I will be getting to a bet on Martinez. I know Moyes is happy that I know he's on the same side here. So
indeed. 2 cents. Are you on the Mana side or are you in South Africa with Seaman?
Oh God. This fucking Mana Martinez echo chamber is just fucking repugnant.
Don't take my terms. Do not take my terms.
This is fucked up.
How dare you?
Here, dude. Man, I get that the line is wide. I don't think Cameron Simon is going to end up champion or anything, but this is more of a fade on Mana Martinez. To me, the guy just doesn't have it between the ears. It's not just that he lost to Brandon Davis. Brandon Davis
Davis. He beat Brandon Davis.
It's not just that he almost lost to Brandon Davis. Because let's face it, if he hadn't hit that spinning back fist, he fucking would have lost to Brandon Davis. He was fucking losing that 2nd round, and he definitely lost the 3rd round. And that's why I'm picking him. In that 3rd round, Brandon Davis fucking buckled him. He had Krause screaming in his face, you have to go out there and win this fight. And he didn't do jack fucking shit. The guy's a head case. He's low-key chinny too, dude. You mentioned getting dropped by a guy who's a primary grappler. He got dropped 3 fucking times by Ronnie Lawrence. Get buckled by some pillow-fisted jobber like Brandon Davis. You are getting chin checked by Cameron Simon. Give me Cameron Simon by knockout. It's Seaman season. Somebody's getting jizzed on. I hope it's not me.
You don't believe that, waffle boy. All right, Lewis, what's your thoughts on this one? You can join the slightly confident 2 cents here, or you can join the very unconfident Lou and myself. We're also confident. Fuck it.
I mean, I was on Cameron, and now I'm on Cameron more, just based on someone's getting jizzed on. But I mean, that needs to be a T-shirt. So
yeah,
I don't. Again, he's not. I agree with 2 cents. He's not going to be a champion or anything, but I think he's got more than enough clinical striking to kind of. Mana gets hit a lot. I know Cameron Simon gets hit over the top, and he's not got a high guard, and he's young. He's 22 years old. Like, he's learning. Every time you see him, he'll develop quicker and quicker. And I think he probably learned a lot from that Kozlov fight. So I like that he's been a bit more active. A few months go by and he's having another fight. I bet you'll see him in another 2-3 months and he'll look even better. So I think he's got more than enough to beat Mana Martinez, but I do think it's by decision.
All right. Minus 210 on Seaman, Mr. Simon, and Leona Mana Martinez at plus 2 or minus 275 on or minus 250 on Simon, plus 210 on Mana Martinez. Split there 2-2 for the first time today. On to the next fight. It's at 170. Ian Machado Gary makes his return here as Kenan Song makes his return from his slumber against Max Payne Griffin. Which, by the way, if we were saying that the UFC just started not caring about events and making bad co-main events, Kenan Song faced Max Payne Griffin at a co-main event in 2021. So this isn't a new phenomenon here. I'm just saying, like, the UFC's been doing this for a while now. And free of charge as they do at their apexes. But yeah, this is a weird fight for me because, like, I think like Machado Gary is kind of beyond this, even though I don't really. I think he's so far. I'm still kind of reserved on my thoughts of him. The Gabe Green fight by far, kind of my most impressive of his fights so far. I did not like what I saw in the Jordan Williams fight, obviously, and just overall, like, yeah, he's okay so far. I think this fight kind of lets you know from his team and his management how confident they feel, and they kind of got the Arnold Allen level of confidence. So Machado should be ready by about 32 to face a contender at this rate. But I mean, Kenan Song, he's got one way to win this fight. He's got to go forward in the first round and launch everything he has at him and either get killed or be killed, period. If he's fighting any other way, he's going to get absolutely out-tooled for 15 minutes by Machado, I think. I don't see him necessarily putting him away, even though, Kenan got put away badly by Max Payne Griffin. That was a few years ago, obviously. Kenan Song, though, like at this price, it's like tempting me, man. It really is, just because it's like, first round Kenan Song KO. That's the only way he wins. I'll go with Machado by decision. I feel like a coward. I really wanted to find a way to side with Song. It's a lot of unknowns, though, with him. He's much older as well. And then I saw the embedded. I saw them kind of interacting. And I mean, Gary is so much bigger than him. He looks so much healthier during this weight cut than Song did. I don't like Song. I don't like Gary either. This doesn't change my opinion on Gary either. I think Gary gets a decision because I don't think he really has that great of power. Honestly, I think his power is a little bit kind of overrated by people. If they are really expecting this KO, like, I think this line is stupid. Can't really do anything with it. Machado by decision. 2 cents. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I really don't like Ian Gary's antics, like outside of the octagon or like during like interviews and stuff. But as far as like in the cage, really weird, man. I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's going to end up being like what people are trying to make him, like the next fucking Irish superstar. But the problem with this fight is just I don't think Song has a very good chin. And just thinking about Gary like at range, putting like a crispy 1-2 on him, I just see Gary clipping him at some point. I do agree with you that he's not some like one punch like knockout guy, but it's more just like a fade on Song's durability. So I'm gonna say Gary. I'm kind of like, again, waffling, dude. I'm waffling between decision and knockout, but it'll be one of those for Gary.
Yeah, fair enough. Lewis, you know the most about Gary. You've been following him the longest. What are your thoughts on his UFC run so far and why they're matching him up with a Kenan Song?
I think so. For me, he does have that one-shot knockout power, but it's not in the way I think most people think of, where you press forward and strike someone. All of it comes off the back foot. So the reason he didn't show that against Gabe Green or Darian Weeks is because they didn't get after it. They were too scared of pressuring him and getting hit by the counters. Whereas if you remember, Jordan Williams was busting him for 4 minutes straight. Mm-hmm. Really like made Gary look a bit, what's happened here? Because he came in with all the promise, all the hype. Obviously, talks really odd. He's a young kid. He's a lot younger than people realize as well. Mm-hmm. All the power comes off that back foot. If Kenan Song's only chance in your head is to run forward and throw, Gary's just going to slip and rip, and he's going to destroy him in minutes, absolutely minutes. He looks bigger than ever in the last 6 months.
He looked enormous. He looked enormous in the embedded when he shook his hand at the sign. Yeah, he is huge.
And think of RoboCop and his baby. He's just had a kid, and
he lost after having his kid. His kid.
But so you never know. But should he have lost? But Ian Gary, to me, man, he's just gonna. I think he's going to be a first-round knockout. I don't think Kenan Song has got any technical skill to deal with him. I think he's going to have to really mix it up and surprise Gary quickly. And the way to do that is just butcher that front leg. Make sure you can stop the movement of Gary. Otherwise, he's just going to pick you apart. Because this is the level he picks you apart. He's kind of like the Paddy Pimblett to me, where as soon as you face someone ranked, he's going to be in trouble.
Yes.
That's the kind of level.
Kenan Song is not ranked. Kenan Song is
he's the Jordan Leavitt of Ian Gary's roster right now, and it's going to be a test. I think Ian Gary will pass with flying colours, and then he'll move on to someone ranked and be in trouble.
Okay, maybe the fight not getting out of the first round would be a nice little bet to make, just
I think you
just to not have to worry about if Song is successful in that blitz. And
Dude,
if he isn't, so yeah, I like that.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's what I thought was so funny. You said about what you said about Gary, like, oh yeah, by the time he's 32, he'll fight a contender. Like, it's weird that he like is Gabe Green almost like a better fight? Like, he's a better than Song Kanan. Like, why are they giving him?
I would favor Gabe Green over Song pretty handily. Yes.
Just weird.
It's a weird fight. I don't think it's to help Song get back into the limelight.
It's to promote Gary, isn't it? It's the only way.
Seems to be the narrative here. Lou Betya, what's your thoughts on this one?
I want to add to something that Norton said about like Weeks just wanted to have this whole fight against the cage, like with a foot of range. Like there was no range for Gary to do anything, and Gary was just happy to not take any damage and win the exchanges. Gabe Green's a tough dude. I mean, not knocking Gabe Green out is not nothing wrong with that. But Weeks just made that like a really ugly fight. Well, what's Song Kanan gonna do? He's gonna run with his eyes closed right at him.
Yes,
and Gary's just going to bonk him once. So I was looking at the Gary KO at minus 135, but if you just don't want to root for Ian Gary here, fight to end in KO is only 20 cents more. It was minus 155 last I looked. So you're covering the Song Kanan like lucky bonk.
Yes.
I mean, you know, the one thing I don't like about Gary, aside from like all the cringy shit, is the tall, you know, he has tall man defense. So like, is Song Kanan the guy to expose it? No, probably not. But we know how he fights, and he always comes out strong the first round. If you look at the fights that Kanan's had that are extended, it's like the Derek Krantz fight, I believe.
Rest in peace, Derek Krantz.
But like, he just like took him down and made the fight as boring as possible. Like Song Kanan doesn't want to fight that way. And look, if Max Griffin's knocking you out in the first round,
deadying him with a 1-2, put him to sleep with that. This
is just to build Gary up. And so I mean, I like him by KO, but like I said, it's not too much more expensive to take fight to end in KO. From a DFS perspective, I've mentioned nobody that I'm going to have rostered really to this point, like some small ownership. I like Gary here. He's finish dependent. He's got to get the finish in the first or second round, but I don't think he's going to have tremendously high ownership on this slate. So he's a good contrarian play in that 9K range. I think he's, I want to say he's 93. He's a little expensive, but yeah, I really do think he gets a finish in the first 2 rounds. And if he really does want to mix a takedown in, it's there. It's going to be there all day. So I've seen some people saying they're taking the sub. Like, don't.
Good. Yeah. I was like trying to be a little different with the decision, but I'm not probably going to bet it. Minus 750 plus, what is it? I don't know, plus 500 or something. Plus 500 on Kanan Song. It's like, again, these lines, they're really trying. But yeah, I think this was booked because I think the UFC was like trying to match Gary, and then they like put this on ESPN. They're like, oh, look at this KO by Max Griffin from a couple years ago. Where's Kanan Song at? Is he available? The other weird part about Kanan Song, last little note, and then we'll move on. Kanan Song's gotten much paler by each fight. If you go and like before you select the fights, like he used to look very healthy and vivacious, and like by the Griffin fight, he looked like a corpse, and he still has that skin tone coming into this week against Gary. So Gary by not looking as pale as his opponent.
You think
it's hard to do?
Light deprivation training or something?
I really don't know. I don't want to make too many, assumptions here, but I wanted to give you a little nugget that you won't get elsewhere, which is that Kanan is looking paler lately. But next fight here, it's nice to get an agreement there, but it's on a minus 750, so it's not really that, interesting. This fight is pretty interesting because I feel like the line is, again, trying to trick me into siding with one side here. Marc-Andre Barrio, power bar, taking on the Cuban Missile Crisis, one of my least favorite fighters in MMA, and Julian Marquez. I won't make any, I've never picked Julian Marquez in a fight in the UFC. I'm not going to start here at all. He's gotten absolutely wrecked lately, and it's been lovely to see. Love to see it. I just don't really think much of Marquez other than that, he is tough and he can hit hard. He's come back from some very major injuries as well. So respect to that all. But to me, I just feel like Marc-Andre has the advantage everywhere but power, which is ironic since he's power bar. But I just feel like cardio wise, pace wise, I think that he has the takedown defense if Marquez did start to kind of get desperate there. And he can, if anything, wrestle. Marquez, he's been able to do that every time except for the Fluffy Hernandez fight. In every fight besides the Chitty fight, he's been able to take the shots. So unless his chin goes away again, and Chitty hits way better and harder than Julian Marquez, I think that Barrio maybe has to survive an early little bit of a flurry. But I think Marc-Andre just goes stay as she goes, rinse and repeat, and gets a decision. I think there's a lot of overs overall on this card. This is another one. For me, I just don't see the finish on either side. The person who's more likely to finish is Julian Marquez, but I just think Marc-Andre Barrio still has more like kind of left in the tank and is less shop worn than Julian Cuban Missile Crisis Marquez. Lewis, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, man, I agree with you. There's never a chance I'm ever betting on Julian Marquez. He's
good man.
He's just I can't trust him at all. His movement is awkward, his clunky, his striking is awkward, and just doesn't seem to work. His best days are way behind him, and his best days weren't even that good. So I think Andre's just good. Marc-Andre's good everywhere. He's only good everywhere. He's at the level he's at, and this is it's just going to continue down this path. I think Fluffy Hernandez right now is just taking up a notch. He looks like a new breed.
Seriously,
he's doing really good. So. Yeah, I mean, I think Marc-Andre Barrio should be able to take any shot. Julian Marquez could throw at him. And I think leading him up, getting kind of front chokes, go into a boring, he easily, this reeks of like a double leg takedown, lay and pray for Marc-Andre just to avoid that one danger Julian Marquez could produce, which is the overhand right. So, yeah, I think Barrio could be even a late finish, to be honest, but I'm going to get him by decision.
Yep, agreed. Lou Betya, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, to add to the Fluffy fight, he hurt his ribs like almost immediately in that fight too. So he did his best to and look, man, Fluffy is just a new animal right now. He's like a relentless, aggressive guy, the way he's getting takedowns, the way he crowds you. And that's what Barrialt usually does. And I think Barrialt here, like Lewis mentioned, like the takedowns. I don't think I haven't really heard anybody talking about that, but I think that's very much in play here. But also just getting him against the cage and keeping the distance as close as possible so that because Marquez is throwing bombs like he's throwing a baseball 300 yards. I mean, like, not like Trevor Peake, but, he winds up.
I will keep fading Trevor Peake too. Jesus.
But he winds up the throw, and I think, like, you see Barrialt really good at getting somebody against the cage, keeping it as close distance as possible, cutting off the angles, and I think he's going to sap Marquez's cardio. I don't think Barrialt has as great cardio as people say, but he's willing to like gut it out. Like he fights for your money in the third round. And as a gambler, like obviously, you love that. I don't feel like I know Marquez.
Yeah, how about how he got ragdolled against Pitolo?
And I know Marquez has third round finishes, but like it's almost like they're like meme finishes. So I think Barrialt gets done and I'm just going to combine what both of you said. I like the round 3 decision prop for Barrialt here. I mean, you're not getting like a ton more equity to really do it. You're getting plus 175, but you are flipping the number. And unless Barrialt hits some like absurd armbar in the first round, I don't see it ending until Marquez is completely sapped of strength. So I hope just my 2 cents and I agree on one fight today. I hope this is the one.
Yeah. Are you going to come in here and like bust out a Cuban flag on your waffles here? Just my 2 cents.
Cuban Missile Crisis, bro. Nah, dude. I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, but I've always been kind of high on old Power Bar. I know he's a
lot of people are for some reason,
dude. I don't know what it is. Is it the fucking nickname? Like
I think it's Marc-Andre Barrio. I think it's the whole name as a whole. Like he looks like he should be better than he is.
Right.
Like, I think it's just kind of
I've always been a little like thought a little bit or rated him higher than some people do, but honestly, man, he really doesn't have terrible losses. He's one of those guys. He doesn't have great wins, but his losses really aren't that bad, especially like Fluffy Hernandez. I don't think Park is a terrible loss, and neither is Jocko. But I like what a lot of I like a lot of what y'all said, especially what Norton said, that clunky word. He is fucking clunky, dude. He's clunky. He's sloppy. I think Barrio is much cleaner with the strikes. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a late, like, 3rd-round finish, but I'm going to go with power bar by decision.
Yeah, that 3rd-round finish probably pays pretty well as well. But, yeah, it should be a good fight. Minus 150 right now on Marc-Andre. So it is a fight that you get good.
It doesn't pay as well as you think.
Oh, really? They're onto it.
10-1. That's it.
That's too bad.
Need way more meat on the bone for that.
Yeah, they're onto it. They're like, it's either 3rd round or decision if you're on the Andre side. So they get it as well. Yeah, I do like the minus 150. I think it's a completely reasonable line. Can bet it straight. And yes, Zhongli, it will be in my 5-piece parlay for you as well. So we shall see. 5K. Marquez has been KO'd 5 times, including the RoboCop fight that changes your skull as a whole. But gonna move on with these prelims. Really good fight here at 125. Very close, very competitive fight. But I've kind of been on the same side throughout, before tape and after tape. Viviane Araújo versus Amanda Ribas. I think this is a really good fight. For me, with Ribas, she's got to be able to get the grappling and the takedowns going in her fights to have success. That's just the generality. And with kind of a beast like Viviane Araújo, I think that's going to be pretty tough. I think if anything, Araújo could have some success with the takedowns because I think she'll be the more physical of the two of these fighters. I don't think that Viviane is like this crazy finisher by any means, but she's got that power to where if it does connect, I am interested to see how Amanda responds to it and if she's able to kind of survive it. Amanda's been rocked a couple times now. Clint is on Viviane. That's too bad, but it is what it is. Once in a while, I have to agree with.
Damn it!
Once in a while, I have to agree with Shrek. I mean, we can't always just look at who he picks and go the opposite way. That would be giving him too much credit. But yeah, I think it's a close fight. Amanda Ribas, got rocked by Verna, with that Trevor Peak, hammer fist. I just think that the way that Viviane kept hurting. The fight that I really liked that gave me confidence, besides obviously, fights like the Bernardo fight, which was up a weight class for Araújo. I liked how she looked in the Grasso fight last fight out. It was 5 rounds as well, and I just think she gained a lot from that. I hate that she's like 34, 35. But the Lee fight, the Andrea Lee fight, she was rocking Lee in that fight. And just like when they both dropped each other in that first round and they were like, oh, Araújo spit her mouth guard out. No, that was Lee's mouth guard that got spit out from that like clean straight left. To me, I think Araújo on the feet has such a wide gap. And on the ground, I think it's pretty close to where I just don't see Ribas being able to control it down there for the 2 to 3 rounds she needs to. I don't see a sub either from her. So I like Viviane a lot in this spot. I think that Viviane knows that it's now or never. If she loses this fight, she might as well hang up the gloves because she's never getting back up towards the title shot. So yeah, give me Viviane here. And I wanted to get to the KO really bad. And I just see a lot of overs on this card. I think it's a lot of decisions, man. So I got another decision here, Viviane Araújo. Norton, what are your thoughts on this fight?
This is a head and heart one for me. I want Amanda Ribas to win just because she's a nicer person. Nothing more than that. But I think Viviane is just so much more dangerous in every aspect. I think she could beat her on the feet just through the power, can get through all the high volume of Amanda. And I think with the grappling, I think Amanda's best chance is probably the grappling, but there's a world where Araújo just doesn't let it happen or just out-grapples her, just dominates on top. Her top game pressure is extremely good. And I don't know what Ribas's back game is, her ground game is like off her back. So I think Araújo is the most smart pick, but again, I want to pick a finish, but since she's like, she has that insane power early on in her career, and
she's so worried about the weight cut and in her mid-30s.
And that's what I'm worried about. She's getting on to her late 30s. I thought she only mid-30s. Okay, so it's not as bad as that. But I could see if she can't get that power off and does slow down dramatically, Ribas could pick her apart with high volume striking and just technical movement. And later on in the round, if she does start fading, then the takedowns will come for Rebus. So it kind of makes me side towards Rebus. It's like a 51-49% kind of fight for me. But I'm more inclined to agree with you about Araujo, to be fair. I think it's a safer pick just because of the level she's beaten. Andrea Lee one, as you say, was so good, and taking Alexa Grasso, that's a competitive fight, and she's now fighting for the title. So, I'm going to go Araujo as well. It'll be boring.
All right, fair enough. No, Clint is not Jewish to answer that question. He's not part of my tribe. Betya, not part of the tribe, but you're an honorary member. What's your thoughts on this one? Mazel tov.
I'm also on the Araujo side, and I feel pretty good about this. Just add 2 things to what you guys said. Her cardio looked pretty good the last 2 fights. 5-round fight against Grasso. I thought her cardio held up all 5 rounds. Andrea Lee, it looked great. The most important thing that was not mentioned yet, I don't know why Hebas is fighting at 125. It's a horrible weight class for her. Like, I mean, she's not going to head and arm triangle. She's not going to throw like Vivi here. I think it stays standing all 15 minutes. Every second this fight's standing is a win for Vivi. So I'm not betting any props with it. You're already giving me it's even money to bet her. I'm good with that. I saw Furio have his decision. Yeah, I lean that way too. I much like you guys, I was trying to justify the KO here because, and it's more on like Hebas's, but I don't know if Vivi's gonna knock her out in one shot. I think it would have to be like 12, 13 unanswered shots to get her out of there. And Hebas is probably going to try to shoot and just like close distance and just avoid taking a sustained length of damage. She'll get pushed off, couple more shots, rinse and repeat the whole fight. Vivi decision seems obvious to me, but plus 100 is good enough. I'm not going to get greedy here.
Yeah, fair enough. 2 cents. You're completing the sweep here.
God, this is a fucking Lego my ego fight, dude. I waffled on this fight so fucking much. You know what I hate about this fight the most? I hate that we're all on Viviana. I waffled from I fucking pancaked from picking Amanda Hebus because that was my I saw this fight, I looked at it, boom, knee-jerk reaction, Amanda Hebus. I hate even more that fucking Clint has picked Viviana now. So
we're
now
all 5 of us.
I want to fucking boys. Now I want to fucking waffle back. So what I'm gonna do is just stick to my guns. I think you're all right. I think what everyone said is correct. I think this is gonna stay on the feet. Dude, you look at how Amanda Hebus loses fights. She either gets completely chin checked or she gets pieced the fuck up. Her striking is really goofy and wonky, and she kind of bullshits her way. I think she kind of bullshitted that Verna fight, to be honest with you. I thought Verna was landing the heavier strikes. I kind of thought Vina got a little robbed in that one. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah. No, it is what it is. We don't discuss our picks ahead of time. If we're all in the same person, we're all in the same person.
It just is what it is. Dude, and this was one that I was on Hebus, and then I started watching the tape, and I started going back over and looking at some of their the stats and shit. And it's the fights Amanda loses, she gets outstruck. I think that Viviana is a good enough grappler to keep this on the feet, and I think she's going to land the heavier strikes. I don't know if she knocks her out, but I think. Dude, give me Viviana. I'm gonna say she wins a decision, but I'm really sketched that we're all on it now, and even more so that Clint's on it. So I don't know.
This is Jack right here is my mood about all of us being on Viviana Araujo this confidently, to where at least 2 of us are betting it. So this is how I feel about it as well. Yeah, I mean, she's the dog, and I'm just confused why. Plus 100 minus 120 for Amanda Hebus here. It feels like a trap, but maybe it's just one of those where you get a good value on it. So we are moving on. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say one more thing. You look at the people that she's beaten too. It's all other than Vina, who, I said, I think she got robbed. It's all grapplers. It's fucking it's Paige Van Zandt and Quitmeyer and shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're at the second from the top on the prelims here. This is a very good fight. And one that, again, I probably thought about a little more than a lot of people. I know a lot of people are on Driscus big time, or as I call him, Drickus. Drickus? Is that what I called him last time, Lewis? I don't remember why I used to. Driscus?
That's his name, Drickus.
Right. And what do I call him? Driscus?
Driscus. Yeah.
Driscus.
You add extra letters.
Yes, I call him Driscus, like Triscuits. Driscuits. But Driscus Duplessis, or however you say his name, I'm just like not really like on him like everybody else. Let me tell you that Darren Till performance, super unimpressed with it. Like, I don't know if I'm a hater or what, but like he got lucky. He got lucky that Darren Till fell apart, literally, and that he could just hop on him and make Darren Till cry uncle and go over. But I know Aaron's going to disagree, but I love Duplessis here. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you guys can all have your fun. Maybe it's his Nicholas Dalby style breathing, or what it is. He just like, I don't know, man. He feels like the type of guy who Derek Brunson exposes. He feels a lot like Kevin Hollins to me when he was making his run and when he was fighter of the year. It reminds me a lot of Edmund Shabazian when he was unstoppable. Like Driscus, whatever you want to call him. Go back and watch his fights from Africa. He gets taken down a lot. That's how he loses his fights. Derek Brunson has 19 takedowns in his last few fights. I get it. Derek Brunson might be done. It might be like Duplessis that power is just too much for him and that puts him away. But I think that Derek has walked through more power and been through worse than this before and gotten the wins. And I think he exposes Duplessis here, takes him down, rinse and repeat, beats him up, maybe makes him quit late in the fight. But again, can't get there. I got another decision. Derek Brunson exposes the South African. Decision, Derek Brunson. Take him down.
Holy shit.
Let's go, Lewis. Or Lou? Is it Lou's turn? Or who did I start with last time? Doesn't matter. Lou,
who's hosting the show?
No one. This is the people are hosting this show. Fuck off, Lou.
Noah's got me nervous.
Lou, go.
Noah's got me nervous that Brunson's beat the last four white people he's fought, especially in the wake of my commentary last week with Dontel Mays, which I will not rehash.
I was on Sakai.
It was more like the analysis that I'm talking about than anything else.
I'm joking.
So Brunson's talked about retirement. So it's like an immediate fuck. Like whenever I hear that, we know how that's been working out lately. In a vacuum, like in a video game, skill for skill, Brunson all day on the ground, even on the feet. Like it's not like he's not bad. Like he's not like totally outclassed. Duplessis throws these like his entries like to throw punches are so they're like if Peak's a 0 on how he throws punches, Duplessis is like 0.4. Like he's just above in terms of like what his technique looks like, but he makes it work. Like he'll walk through a punch or two and just land bombs, and his power is no joke. But I am like massive on the time props here. I have fight doesn't go in just an absolute. I have a max bet 2-leg parlay with fight doesn't go here. Jamari
free Fernando Padilla. Free Fernando Padilla. Give this man his visa. Let him fuck somebody up in the UFC already. What up, Fernando?
I think that, but I think with Brunson, like Duplessis had the Till's fight could have been stopped in the first round. He was looking at the ref like, "What are you doing?" And then he just completely.
That's so bad. Think about that, you guys. Everybody who's on him here, think about this.
But he was okay. But there's a universe where that fight stopped in the first round. I'm just putting that out there. Like Till was done, and then he unloaded the tank trying to get him out of there. And then the second round, he had nothing. And then he kind of willed his way back in the third when they had like one of the more ugly grappling exchanges you're ever gonna see. But I love the time props here, man. I'm playing Duplessis in the distance against my better judgment solely because I think Brunson's got 1 foot out the door here, and prime Brunson would have crushed him. He's not prime
retiring
Brunson.
After this fight. He's moving the goalpost back. He's moving the goalpost back. He's moving it back. Unless he gets flatlined in the first round, he's like, wow, I can't take a punch anymore. Like, which I think is getting way overrated from what Cannonier, how he finished him. But
I'm just playing.
I didn't know Mushroom knew about this channel. He has acknowledged me. The great Mushroom has acknowledged me. There must be the right names on the show.
He's posting fights from like 7 fights ago, which is kind of weird. We covered that one like an hour ago, but Give me the guy that looks more like the guy from Homeland to win by finish.
Lou, he's saying hi to you. Hi.
What's up, man?
I'm Aaron. It's my channel. In case you want to say hi I don't have clout, so hi. How are you? 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this?
God damn it, Aaron.
Join me on the dark side.
Christ. Dude, this is one of the fights that I have not fucking waffled on, and I want to so fucking bad. I want to pick Derek Brunson so goddamn bad. I think Dricus is such a fraudulent motherfucker waiting to happen. Like, he is one of the worst fighters that wins. Does that make sense?
I agree. Yes, it does make sense to me.
He is one of the worst looking fighters that just continues to find a way to win fights. I hate myself for doing this, dude. I literally, I want to like not be myself when I say what I'm about to say. I'm going to pick Dricus because I'm sick of eating crow. This dude has fed. I've been trying to fade this motherfucker every single time, dude. And every single time these fighters give me a glimpse, like a glimmer of hope. Like, oh, dude, if he can just do this in the next one. Oh, like this motherfucker's like he gets hurt versus Perez. He gets hurt. Like he made Brad Tavares look like a fucking heavy hitting, like he could fucking get back into the top 15. He made Darren Till like, ooh, is Till back? Like he's getting fucked up. Like what is going on here? How does he keep winning these? Dude, I want to pick Brunson so bad. I think if Brunson wrestles, he can he could look like Khabib, dude. He could look like think of who has the best ground and pound ever. Like he could look like that dude. But I just feel like Brunson's chin is such a liability. I'm glad that Lou said that shit about him retiring, because that kind of just like tips me more even to Dricus. Like he'll find a way to fucking clean Brunson's clock at some point. And I hate that I'm such a pussy about it. And Brunson is so fucking live. I want to pick him so bad, but I'm gonna go with like a bitch.
Noah giving me some incredible stats here. 9-1 versus white dudes. Brunson is.
Fuck.
He hates white. Aaron, can I add one more thing just because you asked me to do it?
Yes.
100% of this fight in all my lineups, both sides. You have to have this fight covered in every DFS lineup you have. Brunson's win condition is either early finish or tons of takedowns at a cheap salary. Duplessis' win condition is like meme KO, which they're both going to pay really well at their salary. So just one. And
then Lobby, I'm on the other parlay, which pays way better. So we'll see, who's on the successful side here. But this is Metafield mentality for Brunson. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, though. So this one again. I mean, I picked Darren Till against Duplessis, so that's how little I think of Duplessis. Like, okay, like I'm just not. He's not somebody I'm on. I will always make that very clear when I'm making my picks as well. So like, I don't want to misguide anybody too much with my hate, but at the same point, I do feel that at plus 200, Derek Brunson's worth a shot. Minus 250 on Duplessis don't make sense to me. Go watch Duplessis' fights before the UFC and the ways that he lost. It was by getting the takedowns. Brunson has almost 20 takedowns in his last few fights. So he's still going for those takedowns. And I mean, again, I think that Brunson is not retiring after this fight. I think he's moving those goalposts back. He looks in great shape, also has the blonde hair in. So yeah, give me Derek Brunson in this spot. I was originally on Dricus though. So maybe if he wins this fight, I'll learn how to say his name. Probably not though.
Did Lewis go or did I miss it?
Lewis, did I skip you?
No. Yeah, but mate, I'll make it quick. Brunson wins.
Okay, my bad, man.
He just takes him down and grinds him. I don't see it in a way a defenseless man who can't defend a takedown will win against a guy that only can take people down.
Darren Till took him down.
It'll look like UFC 1. That's what it'll look like.
All right, perfect. I'm sorry about that. My bad.
How dare you? How dare you?
I'm so glad you're here. I've already forgotten that you're even part of the show. Up to 30 viewers right now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate everybody checking out the show each week. Definitely growing a little bit here, so appreciate it. And we're getting more viewers. The growing I was talking about with me. But next fight here, I was expecting a laugh. No laughs.
Hi-yo.
Thank you very much. I was talking about
You are the straight stuff. Oh, great one.
Appreciate it. All right. We're on to the featured prelim, the return of Cody Garbrandt to bantamweight. He's taking on Trevin Jones. Whew. I mean, I heard someone last night say that they were like doing fight tape for this fight. And I just really respect you for doing that. I sent, I think, all of you the fight tape needed for Cody Garbrandt. It was all his finishes or getting finished, getting progressively worse.
3-minute tape.
3 minutes of tape. That's all you have to do, man. Does he put away Trevin Jones, or does he get kind of pushed across the cage for a little bit by Trevin Jones and then eventually walk into something later? I don't really know. I just this is a fight I don't really want anything to do with, to be honest with you. Like, whichever side you're on, you're not going to feel good about. To me, Trevin Jones, I don't think is this like super heavy-handed guy that everybody is calling him. I get it, the Valiev fight and the Mario Batista fight. That Batista fight's awesome, and the way he put him away. But that was his only good moment in that fight against Batista. The rest of the time, Batista was working him like that. Very fortunate. I like that, Trevin Jones is getting a full camp here and everything, but he's just kind of inactive. I think he's going to give Cody a chance to really get into a groove. I like the KO for Cody here, maybe in the first or second round. I don't like trusting him to a decision, though. I think after the first 7 minutes, Trevin Jones starts to lean against him, starts to kind of get him against the cage, maybe land some decent strikes, and then we head towards a split decision type of category where it's like, who the hell knows? I don't know. I've been on Trevin. I've been on Cody. I'll go back on Cody here. I don't feel good about it. Second round KO. Most of Cody's finishes have been in the first round. He's won one decision in his whole career, and it was his best fight ever. I get it, but I don't know. Trevin Jones sucks. So 2 cents. Who you got in this spot? I'm so reluctantly on Cody Garbrandt. It makes me sick. I think on Tapology still, I probably still have Trevin Jones. I'm gonna have to switch it, but yeah, this fight sucks.
So, dude, I'm so fucking glad that you said what you just did, because this fight right here, boys, this is the one I made this fucking avatar for. Yeah. This guy, I hate this fucking fight so much. I hate that I have to pick it. I would never even my stupid ass would never dream of betting this fucking greasy ass fight. I'm so worried about Cody getting sparked, but I agree with what you said. Dude, the Valiev fight and the Batista fight are his only 2 knockouts, dude. He only has 3 knockouts in his career. I don't think he's some.
And it's right hooks that get to Cody Garbrandt, and Trevin Jones is a southpaw.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he does. He does have a good right hook too. He does have a good check right hook, but Cody's been fighting so timid anymore. He's really gotten gun shy, and I'm going to pick Cody. I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm going to pick Cody because I don't think, if you look at his losses, Trevin Jones is not on the level of those guys, and I don't think he's as good of a striker. He's so low volume, and he's another guy kind of like Mana. I don't think he quite has it between the ears for whatever reason, and I just think Cody, this is going to be a boring, wrestling heavy, Cody lands some shots. You go back and look at his last few fights, he actually looked pretty good in the 5th round against Rob Font. He landed some pretty heavy shots, and I don't know, man. I just don't think Jones is going to be the guy. Jones loses this fight, he's going to be 14-10. I think something like that. He's just, I agree with what you say. He's not very good. So give me Garbrandt, but I'm so fucking scared he's going to please don't get knocked out, Cody.
Yeah, it's a fight you don't want to have the feeling of getting it wrong, and definitely not betting it at all. Lewis, what's your thoughts?
I was going to say, if Cody loses this, is it the biggest fall from grace from a champion point of view? I mean, a perfect. I mean, his last win would have been. Is his last win? It's the Sunsao.
The Sunsao. Okay, yeah, the Sunsao.
Where he pulled the
buzzer beater
hook kind of thing from his foot. Yeah, all the way from the foot all the way up. Yeah, I mean.
DeMarge Simpson.
Yeah, Cody should win. He should outclass him in every way. Even if he's chinny, he shouldn't even be touched. Let's put it that way. He shouldn't. His chin shouldn't even be checked in this fight.
I agree.
But it's Cody Garbrandt, and he's got wind between his ears, and he's the biggest fucking idiot in the UFC. But he's also like, he can just turn it on. Like what he did against Dominic Cruz was masterful. It's the best. That's one of the best championship performances.
He must have
I've
just
ever
blacked out. He
ever.
must have blacked out for that 25 minutes and been.
I've never
else.
seen someone more perfect in a championship fight against someone. You know what I mean? Never. And then he's now matched up against Trevin Jones a few years later. It's just what I just don't. Yeah, Cody should win, but I'm picking Trevin Jones because I don't like Cody Garbrandt. Fuck him. So I hope Trevin Jones.
I am so glad we're not out.
You know what I hope Cody. He does? I hope Trevin Jones knocks him out like he did Timur Valiev, and then he gets popped for cannabis or something, and it's a no contest. Because don't forget, he beat Valiev. I'm having that. He did.
Yeah,
he did beat Valiev.
That is true.
Valiev can strike. That motherfucker could strike. So. I don't trust Cody at all. I don't like him, so I hope he loses.
That's fair. Hanging with the boys. We got
a vengeance against 3 fighters. He's one of them.
We got 2 on Cody, 1 on Trevin. Lou, your thoughts?
So I have a bet on Cody decision only at -125. And before that sounds crazy, there's 3 ways I think this goes. I saw somebody in the chat say they could see Trevin Jones winning minutes. Find me the last fight where Trevin Jones ever won minutes in a fight. He never wins minutes. Like every win he has, he was losing. Like he's not a minute winner. He's so low volume. Like he just doesn't ever win until he's like Paul Craig. He's like 8-2 in fights he lost. He's like one of those guys. So I think this fight goes 1 of 3 ways. Meme knockout of Garbrandt from Jones. Garbrandt knocks out Jones, or Garbrandt plays it safe. I don't love his wrestling, and like Jones is, I guess, tolerable on the ground. My big problem
there you
JL.
go, Lou. There you go, JL. He 1 minute against.
Like Garbrandt's like he's not horrible at getting takedowns, but he's horrible at like doing anything past that point. Like I don't know if he's going to go rinse and repeat. I don't know what his strategy is, but if it stays on the feet for 15 minutes, he could be winning 12 of them and then get bonked. So I like decision only prop. I don't see Jones having any decision equity here. If you like Jones, take him by KO. Like, I think that's the only way to really play him. But yeah, I think Garbrandt decision only at -25, reasonable number. Like,
you think Garbrandt gets a fight with Jay Ellis if he loses this fight?
I mean, I'm down for it. I'm here for
Cameron
it.
Else. He gets one with Cameron Else. That's what he gets.
Cameron Else. But I took a small play. I didn't want to. I was talking with Gordo about this because he's like, Gordo wants to like. I was thinking like max betting it, and I'm like, just tell yourself how much. Because he's like, I feel like there's no way Jones wins his decision. I'm like, I'm with you, but it's still Cody Garbrandt. Like, how much has he pissed you off the last few fights? He goes, that's very fair. So if you like Jones, I don't have a problem. Like, if you want the Jones side, I get the value, but I would just take him in the distance because I don't know how he wins the decision.
Yeah. -175 on Cody. Terrifying. Just purely terrifying. +145 on Trevin. Also terrifying. And then Furio, him winning is predicted on Cody being gun shy and it just being a super awkward staring contest.
I mean, Jones is a pure counter striker. If someone doesn't move forward on him, he will throw fucking dick. Nothing. I can really see Cody winning. This could be like the shittiest fight of the night, where it's like Cody throws like a right hand every now and then, leg kicks, like a takedown here and there. God, I picked Jones, waffled, and I want to waffle back, but I'm gonna stick with Cody.
It could be a fight with 2 strikes that ends in the 3rd round. Like it literally could be just 1 punch counter, the fight's over, and Jones wins. You know, like
Jones's best chance is just a firefight, isn't it? It's just a gunfire fight with like Pedro Munoz fight,
which he doesn't really do. Like,
well, he will against Cody if he's he's got Weetabix or he's got paper mache for a chin. I don't know.
And then Labyrinth got Cody getting chinned. And then
let's go. Come on, Trevin Jones.
Jones will throw dick. All right, we're on to the main card here. Starting with probably the quickest fight of the night. I'm not even going to start this one off. I've got to have Lou set it up. It's his boy. Lou, take it away.
Bow by prison rape is +130 on DraftKings, and I'm here for like the rape that is going to be this fight. Hey, you started with me. This is your fault, not mine. I wish we had a prop that there's going to be a forfeit. Like Pickett shows up, weighs in, and just takes his check on a one-way ticket to
Trevin Giles is it?
FC.
Trevin Giles is it? Where he's like, my back.
He's gonna go face like Bob Medic, Uros's brother in Alaska FC. Would be his next fight. Like round 1 subs plus 140. I jumped on second, was available. Could he win by KO? Sure, but I gotta imagine the second he gets a takedown, Pickett's like, fuck,
just wraps him up and finishes.
He's like, I don't want that smoke. It's done. Like Pickett knows, he knows the score here. He's showing up for a check. Bo is just gonna like, and look, man, we Pennsylvanians, we have pride here. He's like the hopes and dreams of all of us, like rest on Bo Nickel. Bob Medic. He's tough, man.
Dude, y'all are so fucking clan-like up there.
Yeah, well, sorry, you know, in the South, I don't know how clan-like you guys are. We want to talk about the clan. Let's talk about how clan-like you guys are.
Talk about my glass house, bro.
And Bo Nickel.
Seriously, we do have some pretty racist areas of Pennsylvania. It's a bad scene.
But
Bo Nickel round 1, minus 190. The under is like completely gone now. It's minus 315 on some books. It's minus 300 on others. But like, yeah, I don't care. I'll put it with everything. And just if I lose this one, I lose all my money for the night, and I'll live with it because Bo is not going to disappoint me.
All right, believe it or not, he's on Bo Nickel inside of the first round by submission. Bo Nickel, for you, 2 cents. Who are you on in this very close matchup?
Oh yeah, very, very close. Pretty much a coin flip. I mean, I really
talk about waffling.
Yeah, I know, right? That's not but like, and no, and I don't mean Ku Klux Klan. I just mean like y'all thick, like y'all are like loyal to the fucking anything Pennsylvanian. Like, dude, you'll kill people over it. So like, I respect that. But no, yeah, this is Bo Nickel by something. Shit, boys, it's Bo Nickel by something, and probably quick. Probably, I think it will be something against Jamie Pickett's will in the first round.
All right, Lewis, KO or sub for you?
Well, I would go for sub. That's all I've seen him do right now. But I'll because obviously he's going to win. But what's the question for me? I'll ask you guys is how far do you actually think Bo Nickel will go?
Champion.
You think that high? Okay.
I think he could be the champion in 3 fights.
Being one-dimensional.
His striking's coming along, but like
It's average, mate. It's really average.
He's 3 fights into his career. Like it's still developing. But one of these guys, it's like an old school wrestler. Like his hand strength, like his grip strength is insane. Where if it's like Brock Lesnar, he doesn't have to have refined striking. If he hits you with like a glancing blow, it's like getting hit with a hammer. No, I mean like it's
big lunchbox in your face. Yeah,
there's stories of him in like the Penn State wrestling room. Like this dude's a legit. I mean, I think his ceiling. I don't think he has a ceiling right now. If I'm being honest, his striking's only going to get better. So
what's his wrestling credentials compared to someone else that's had those credentials in the UFC? Because obviously the wrestling side is the one loophole us Brits don't, see.
He's like one of the most decorated, like American.
Is he like DC?
Athletes. He's like Lesnar. It's actually
he would have been DC if he won if he didn't lose one trial fight where he like hardly like one trial match like that caused him not to be able to go. He lost like the finals to go to the Olympics, so he couldn't go to the Olympics where he would have most likely won.
And Penn State,
so he's literally the best you could be.
And Penn State right now is like one of the top 3 wrestling programs in the country. Like
he also
very comparable to Lesnar.
He also grappled with Gordon Ryan when he was a white belt and like held his own in that spot. So I mean,
white belt. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It does seem like he does seem like he is the goods.
Mighty Mouse was a blue belt when he did that to Ray Borg. Yeah,
he has like farm. Like people that have farm boy strength. Like it's not even like just insane farm boy strength. That's this guy. So
cool.
We'll see how he reacts to getting hit. Like I mean, look. When he
That's what I want to see. I just want to see him get cracked once. That's all I want to see. Like Lesnar didn't like getting hit.
No, Lesnar did not like getting it. This fight will not be that fight.
Mm-hmm. No, it won't. Definitely not.
Yeah, I got Bo Nickel as well. I got him by
Drekus.
KO.
We want Drekus v. Bo. That's what we want.
Make that the next fight. That's fine. Exposed to Plisses. Hurry up. But yeah, Bo, I got him by KO here. Just because why not? Yeah, I got him by KO. So plus minus 2,000 plus 900. We know the rest. Pickett best jab at 185. Too bad he won't get to throw one. But on to the next one on the main card. This is a great fight. Matuas Gamrot taking the fight on short notice at 155 against Jalen Turner. Really close fight. Jalen Turner has been on fire lately, obviously. I just think he's really coming into his own. Gamrot, really, really polished at this point. And it's just kind of where this fight's going to be fought at, what range this fight's fought at, which is really going to determine it. If Jalen Turner is able to keep Gamrot off of him, Gamrot doesn't have like these incredible takedowns so far. He's like 36, 40% in the UFC so far. He's not had the success. That's the numbers. So you can look at me all you want. You can look him up. That's literally his success rate. Yeah, he's facing guys like what? Well, yeah. No, that's literally the number. Like that's literally he might have very legit takedowns and everything, but they have not come to fruition in his UFC matchup so far. I think that changes here. I think with Jalen Turner, it's been shown how to beat him in his fights. Look at the Matt Frevola fight. That tells you everything you need to know. I get Jalen's learned a lot from that. He's advanced a lot. If Gamrot can withstand the fire of getting into the range he needs to, I think he's several levels ahead of Jalen offensively in the grappling round once it gets there. And I think he ends up getting Jalen down, putting away by submission. I think he's been in a lot of very close decisions as well. And I could see this kind of turning into a war. And Jalen does have the physical tools, but Gamrot's also a beast. He's no joke. I don't like the short notice here at all. I think that's really kind of a concern here, but I just think that Gamrot finds a way to get this to the ground and get him finished here. I'm not sure when it happens. I just think that Gamrot shows there's levels. I think he's been very well prepared for this, but he can get into wars for sure. And if this is another war, I think that is a way that Jalen can squeak this one out. But yeah, I like Gamrot in the spot by submission. Let's start with 2 cents since we started with Lou last time. Give him a break.
Dude, yet another reason why this is the avatar I chose today. I haven't waffled on this one yet, but I really fucking want to. And it might not be what you think. Like, I agree with what you said. Gamrot has a huge grappling advantage if he gets it to the ground. But I also agree with what you said about his takedowns. They're super duper telegraphed. He does it from like halfway across the fucking cage. Like he has good grappling. He has good fucking wrestling. Like he ankle picks dudes like a motherfucker. He's very like strong and relentless with the grappling. But and I'm not going to say he's a complete fraud, but he's kind of shown some like fraudulent tendencies. Like I think that he won the Guram fight, but I think he pretty clearly lost the Arman Sarukian fight. He doesn't do well against like striking. Like he gets fucking dropped. He's like, I'm not going to say he's like chinny, but dude, Jalen Turner is like one of the best pure strikers. He's fought mostly grapplers, dude. Like who's like a really good pure grappler that Gamrot's fucking fought? I can't think of one. Jalen Turner is going to have like a 7-inch reach advantage. Dude, it is binary. Like I can absolutely see Turner getting like smoked on the ground. But dude, if it stays on the feet, Gamrot's going to get fucking knocked out. Like Turner is way too crispy. Gamrot really leaves his chin exposed. And honestly, if he gets cracked and hurt and shoots some crazy takedown, he's gonna get fucking ninja choke, dude. He's gonna get front choke somehow. Like I just think this is Jalen Turner's time. I think Gamrot, I'm not gonna say his best days are behind him, but he doesn't have a whole lot of time to get to work. Like Benny is a fucking grappler. I don't care what anyone says. Like I know that he's powerful. He can hurt people, but he is not very fast, and he's fucking like he's chinny as fuck. Like Jalen Turner is kind of chinny. I'm not gonna say he's not. Jalen Turner's been knocked out 3 times. I don't think Gamrot's gonna be that dude. I worry about the grappling a lot, but I'm going to pick Jalen Turner. I'm going to say knocks Gamrot out and fucking drops a lot of jaws.
All right. What is your thoughts on this one, Lewis?
I'm just like in awe of these comments about Gamrot.
Yeah.
He's been dropped, I think, once in his career.
He's
definitely
been dropped more than once.
I don't think he has. He's honestly, and that was against Guram.
I picked him, and I love Guram.
Yeah. I mean, he hung with Guram Kutateladze. He's one of the best fucking strikers that had to unfortunately retire. He's so good, and the competition Gamrot.
Benny dropped. Wait, Benny dropped him. I gotta cut you off. Benny fucking.
Oh yeah. No, he did. Yes, fair. There's no way you can say he's chinny after his competition. It's just I don't think he's going to get caught in any neck grabs by Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner is good at that, but he's normally in top position when he does so. And Gamrot doesn't do any single leg takedowns. It's all ankle picks or it's all trips from a body lock. It's risk-free takedowns essentially. And he did get Arman down a couple of times. I agree 100% he lost that fight. I think that was close to a robbery. I think it was clear that Arman won at least 3 rounds. I think Gamrot's just going to ragdoll him. I don't think there's any way around it. I think Jalen Turner he's got some good wins. He's a sharp striker, but I don't see Gamrot getting trouble, to be honest. I think he can hang striking wise. I think he's just going to grab him by the side and just throw him around like a ragdoll. And it's 3 rounds as well. He doesn't have to break a sweat. He can go 5 rounds hard.
I agree. And the other thing I just want to add, and then I'll turn it over to you, Lou. Don't worry. I won't forget this time being a good host. But the other thing I just want to add is that I do think this line is hugely recency bias. Like, I mean, I get the hype on Turner is huge right now after what he did Riddell and others. Like, I get that, but you kind of forget a few fights ago and in general how Turner's been beaten in his career, and it's hard for me to put that away from a guy like Gamrot, who was very, very UFC ready by the time he came over here and faced a good level over with M1 as well. So I do think Gamrot's a little bit better than people realize, and Turner's a little worse than people realize. And together you get this to where you're like, oh, plus 190 and it's getting more. It's a trap. But I do think that this is one where you just take a step back. I do think that Gamrot takes it. But Lou, what's your thoughts? Lewis, did you have some? Sorry,
No,
Lewis,
sorry, mate. I just breathed quite heavy.
Oh, okay, my bad. Lou, what's your thoughts? My bad.
Man, I don't like disagreeing with just my 2 cents this much on a card, but man, I like Gamrot here a lot. And aside from the recency bias, look at the guys that Turner's fighting. Turner's not fighting anybody that's we're talking about his grappling improving, but how's he getting to the grappling in these fights? He's bonking the dude and then landing on top. He's not having these insanely technical grappling exchanges. He's fighting guys that really don't have any grappling, and he's, hurting them and then getting on top. I don't think he's going to have the chance here. And it's not like Gamrot's striking is awful. It's not it's not like how he's trying to win fights, but certainly not awful. The guy's a very well-rounded professional. He knows he has the strength game plans. As far as the short notice, Lewis brought up, he can do this 5-round hard. So I'm not really worried about the short notice. He stays ready. I've never seen him really look gassed. So I don't think he gets a finish. I think it's rinse and repeat. I know Turner's never lost by a decision, I don't believe, but I think Gamrot just 30-27 decision here.
All right. Yeah. And then Labyrinth very much on Turner here. Both sides very confident so far. I think this is the fight that most people feel like their side, they have the right side on of the fight so far. So it should be an interesting one.
I would say it is a good opportunity for Jalen Turner though, because if he does take the scalp of Gamrot, Jesus Christ, does it bump him up to inside that top 5, no question.
Yeah. It will. It's very, very interesting. Minus 250 on Mr. Gamrot. He's got the Duplessis tag, plus 190 on Jalen Turner.
Aaron, let me add one more thing. Because this goes to the thing I've been kind of talking about all year. Gamrot doesn't get finished ever with a large sample size. And I feel I don't know that Turner has decision equity here. He's having success. I mean, I don't know that he does. I think even if he does knock down Gamrot and he comes in for a takedown, this thing ends up in a scramble exchange. I think Gamrot will find a way turn it around, get control the rest of the round, recover. So for me, like, I mean, Gamrot has a couple of different paths to win here, whereas Turner has the finish. And again, we've never seen Gamrot finished. So I should mention, I'm like 0 for Gamrot on my life.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's
so there's
yeah,
that.
no.
So if you took Turner, you feel good.
Yeah, no. This is a really great fight. I respect both sides, but yeah, I have settled on Gamrot myself. So
like Turner definitely isn't like my most confident pick, and I clearly see the path for Gamrot. He's a much better like wrestler and grappler. I just like dude. Other than Arman, honestly, like what Jeremy Stevens has been subbed 5 fucking times. CDF is a fucking fraud. Scott Holtzman is a jobber, and dude, he was having trouble controlling Hot Sauce Holtzman. Like, I don't think that Gamrot is like the grappling. Like, I think some people try and make him out to be Khabib or something. He's really not. He's kind of got some Euro trash grappling, if I'm honest with you. Like, and like he looked okay against Arman, but like Arman's a fucking grappler too. Like, I don't know, man. But yeah, this is gonna be.
I think it depends how high maybe you rank Arman. I think Arman's going to be a champion.
I do, but I think it's a stylistic matchup is why I'm on Turner. Yeah. Like he's got better pure striking than a lot of these dudes that Gamrot has faced.
And he's long, as you said,
yeah,
didn't you?
He's really long. So, but man, I totally see the Gamrot side. He could end up looking like he could end up looking like Khabib.
Yeah, really good stuff there. Great discussion. We're gonna move on to the next fight, third from the top. We've got the return of the guy with a dead animal on his head, Shavkat Rakhmonov. 16 finishes, 8 by KO, 8 by sub. Decent, I guess, if you're into that. Once upon a time, he was an underdog against Alex Oliveira. He was an underdog against Alex Oliveira. Oh, if we could get our time machines back.
Does everyone know that you picked Carlston Harris still?
Yeah, so just a reminder, I picked Carlston Harris at, I think, like plus 230, plus 250 against Shavkat. And I was like, oh, how disrespectful. And people have forgotten how good Carlston Harris is because of that Shavkat fight. Just saying that. So when Carlston comes back, I'm picking him again. From this perspective, I now almost have to bet Jeff Neal out of principle because Jeff Neal's price in this fight is almost twice as bad as Carlston Harris, and he's better than Carlston Harris. Like this sucks. Overall, I have Shavkat Rakhmonov here. I have him to get a finish a little later, maybe a second round finish. Why not? Because the first round is just going to be just ridiculous, and maybe Jeff survives 5 minutes. But I mean, honestly, I just can't pick Jeff in good consciousness. But Shavkat was an underdog against Alex Oliveira, so just reminder there. I bet Carlston, so I'm really struggling. If it gets to plus 500, I'm going to have to bet Jeff Neal. But my pick is Shavkat by second round TKO. Lou, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, if Jeff Neal comes into this fight like he did against Vicente Luque, I think we've got a real fight on our hands because that Jeff Neal just completely evolved and he looked so dynamic. His striking was so good. It was crisp. He had to get a little bit of his corner going. They had to do some Leon Edwards kind of shouting in his ear to kind of get him pumped. But I think Shavkat's just so clinical and perfect, and he just looks better and better every time. And he's one of these guys that is the future of the whole sport. And he's kind of flown under the radar because of the other top contenders over the last couple of years. And I think this isn't even his coming out party fight to me. I think he's going to clinically win. I think he might make Jeff Neal look quite basic. In the same way he's made everyone look he made Neil Magny look like he was an amateur, which is really,
look what Neil Magny did to Jeff.
Exactly. So,
not that MMA math is a great approach.
The MMA math, is the one thing in life that doesn't work. So
sometimes it does.
Yeah, sometimes. I just have Shavkat winning pretty much everywhere. As he can go to the ground, no problem. His cardio is off the charts. His striking, his distance management is brilliant. His clinch work is great. His cage control is fantastic. He knows exactly how to cut off every angle that someone like Jeff Neal, he's got great low kicks, great inside low kick as well, stepping overhand. He feints well with the jab, but he's very one-dimensional to someone probably like Shavkat. You're not going to have to worry about a takedown. You're not going to have to worry about...
This is what JJ has to say. He's a basic bitch, is what you're trying to say.
He's a tough basic bitch, but he's
Tough bitch. There we go.
But again, if he comes in with the aggression, I think Shavkat's going to counter him and eat him alive. If he comes in technical, I think he's got a better chance, but I still think Shavkat's going to outwork him. And I think he's just better overall. And you got to pick the better fighter.
This is a good question. Is Jeff still working at the Texas Roadhouse? Because if so, then we'll check their employment records right now to see if he got the weekend off so he can come to the fights. Lou, how and when for Shavkat for you?
So I have I hate these juice bets. So I have a 2-leg parlay that has just this fight getting out of the first and Valentina's fight getting out of the first. And it got me plus 101 odds. Like, I feel that's like the only thing I'm worried about. Like, look, I could make a case for Jeff Neal, but then I'm like lying. I mean, he's pretty durable, but like the one thing about Jeff Neal, now you brought up your boy before, Saeed.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be in his corner screaming at him.
I don't think he's going to get a chance to, because this is probably going to get out of the first. He's probably not going to get to yell at him.
Well, one thing about Jeff
him.
Neal that's interesting is, like, you watch his losses, like Magny and Wonder Boy, and like he gets frustrated so easily in fights. Like, as soon as Wonder Boy was just darting in and out after 2 minutes, you could tell he was like, his whole body language was like what's going on? But like, Luque didn't look great in that fight, but he's constantly going forward. That's what Neal kind of thrives on. He's like, good. I'm just, like, that's all I want is this kind of absolute firefight. Shavkat could take him down in the first 30 seconds and it wouldn't shock me, but I do think he's going to take his time here. I mean, Shavkat doesn't ever seem in a rush, and then he wraps up a finish in like 5 seconds. But Neal's had good durability. I do think it'll take Shavkat a little longer. I loaded up FanDuel because I want to see what their what the round 2, round 3 sub prop is here, because I feel like that is kind of an interesting look. Plus 600 Shavkat round 2, round 3 sub combo. So I think that's an interesting look here. I do think he gets him out of there. I mean, the one thing I'm worried about here, just to play a little bit of devil's advocate, is that Shavkat he's been rocked. Obviously never finished, and he's recovered well, but he has been rocked. And man, Jeff Neal, he does eat horse meat, and his favorite animal is a horse, carrying to one of those Alex Mahunin, which I'm like, man, that's badass, dude. His favorite animal is a horse, and
he eats his favorite animal.
Meat. Like, that's fucked up. But so give me Rachmanov late sub, but like, man, he's gonna have to minus P's and Q's that first round with Neal, because again, he's been rocked, and Neal is just not somebody you want to deal with. Like, Neal's kind of basic in his skill set, but this is the one thing that he does well is, know.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. And then 2 cents. Get in here.
I like what Norton said. He's can win everywhere. I'm definitely on Shavkat, but I'm having a little bit of trouble kind of zeroing in on a method of victory. For some reason, I keep hearing submission. He's so much better on the ground to me. And I honestly, if he does get rocked, I think that's absolutely what's going to happen. He's going to get rocked. He's going to take Neal down, and he's going to probably submit him. So I just keep hearing submission when I think about this fight. So I'll probably go with that. But I mean, Shavkat's the fucking goods. I mean, he just fucking smoked Neil Magny, who's like no fucking slouch on the ground. He just fucking mowed right through him. Crazy.
So maybe a Bo Nickel, Gamrot, Shavkat submission prop parlay. Just a little sprinkle on that.
You want me to look it up? I got it up right now.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I always keep the book up.
Thank you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Who's the third one? Bo.
So it's Bo, and then Gamrot, and then Shavkat, all by sub.
Gamrot actually has his sub odds are wider than his KO odds, just so you know.
Which is beautiful. I am very interested in that.
Plus 1733.
Yeah, just a little tighty, Put an old 0.01 units on that one for you. But
0.1.
0.01. Yeah, 0.01.
Well,
whatever you can afford, put that on there. Don't get too crazy though. Minus 550 plus 380 on Jeff Neal here. This fight was rescheduled as well. So with a guy like Jeff Neal, who already has the health issues, to have a fight rescheduled, and they're like, no, you still got to fight. You still got to fight him. We're not getting out of this one. And he's like, oh, I want to fight him. Like, I don't know about this one for you, Jeffy boy. You might have to pick up an extra shift this weekend or next weekend. We're on to the.
Isn't he buddy? By the way, isn't he buddies with Keith Peterson? Like, aren't they like drinking buddies or some shit?
Oh, are they? That's
yes,
great.
like they smoke and they drink together. So like, if he's the ref,
picks up a double shift and then is fucking getting fucked up with Keith Peterson afterwards at the bar.
I'm just saying, if he's the ref.
Yeah, if Keith is ref, watch out.
Now I know his nickname's No Nonsense, but there may be nonsense.
There's some nonsense sometimes with that guy. All right, we're on
and offbeat shenanigans.
We are on to the two of the best fighters in the world making their returns. First one, Valentina Shevchenko taking on the challenger Alexa Grasso here. Okay, this main card is just weird, right? Like the Jalen Turner fight, I get it. Some people can go on Jalen, whatever. The rest of these so far, Bo Nickel, no problem. Shavkat, most likely no problem. I get it. We said, but like no problem. Valentina, where's the problem here? Where's the problem? She's not gonna lose on the feet. On the ground, it's 10,000 miles difference or 30,000 kilometers difference. Just so we understand the distance, everybody. Feet, miles, centimeters, whatever you need to measure. This isn't close, man. I don't know why this is a title shot. Gives you Valentina a chance to remind everybody that she is that woman. She's the best female fighter in the world, even though she lost to Santos. She's very lucky she didn't have to rematch Santos here. And Santos is like now somehow like 3 fights away from a title shot. Like it's incredible. I don't know how this happened, but like Santos all of a sudden they're like, yeah, Santos is like going back in the rankings. Like Manon Farrow just went ahead of her this week, even though neither one's it's anything to keep Santos away from Shevchenko. Shevchenko has an entire camp built around her. She just travels around the world and goes other, was training in Japan for this fight. She's still got 3 or 4 years left. So yeah. I don't know. Like Shevchenko, I see the crucifix happening and her just kind of pounding her away. I just think she's going to get her stuck there. Maybe she subs her, but maybe we go sub. Do we go sub? 4 subs, 4 sub parlay? Is that 4 subs?
Quad sub, dude?
There could be the quad sub. I'm just saying, like, because obviously Shevchenko in the grappling, like, she could go there, but she'll probably use her grappling just to beat her up, zombie girl style. I don't think Grasso has a chance here. I can't believe she's fighting for a title. This is wild. Shevchenko, round 3, crucifix TKO. Lou, I should have let you lead this one off since I let Lewis. I should have let you lead this one off since I let Lou lead off Bo Nickel. Lewis, Valentina's your favorite fighter. Are you going with Grasso here?
Yeah, Grasso would no.
No, Viva La Mexico, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Valentina's gonna whatever she wants. This is gonna be like a dad bullying their son. This is just a ridiculous difference in skill set. I think everyone in the chat and yourself have pretty much nailed this. Like all my notes are basically, I think she's just going to body lock her from the start, trip her down, getting crucifix elbow to shit. It's going to look like just screw and Andrade fight. I mean, when the skill difference is that large in one area of the art, it's just she's just going to ragdoll her. Like
she might do the head. She might do the scarf hold like bully punches to just finish it, Montserrat style.
She's going to start shouting Japanese submission names.
Yeah. Japanese jiu-jitsu. Is coming.
Jujikatami and yeah,
exactly.
She's going to tie Toshiro over into a Jujikatami. Yeah, no, she. I think Valentina's just going to ragdoll her and just beat her.
And
it'll be over in 10 minutes.
I swear, if they would have had the balls to do Valentina versus Santos in Brazil in the middle of the jungle,
they should have.
I would have picked Santos. I swear, I would have.
I've watched that fight 10 times, by the way. Valentina versus Santos.
Don't even say anything.
No, you'll be happy with my result rather than my first result because I don't think Valentina won.
No, she didn't. Valentina's
no, but she didn't lose. I scored it a draw.
Fine.
I scored it a draw.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right, Lou. Obviously, you're on Grasso, right?
Sure. I don't know. Lewis has got me worried about this. Fight starts round 2 prop that I have as a parlay here, but
I told you it's an ass
only
clenching
toughness. Grasso toughness. Has she got the toughness to outlast? I mean, is she as tough as Andrade?
No. I just gotta hope that like Valentina doesn't take her down in like 5 seconds. Like
That was
I think
such
I think that's a good play. To be fair, sorry, mate. I think it's a good play because I'm pretty sure Shevchenko hasn't won a fight in round 1.
yeah,
She
and
finishes a lot of fights from round 2 onwards. It's like download data round.
This is a big statement. Like, oh, you thought like, oh, you forgot about me. Like, because honestly, she should probably be minus. She should probably be in the Bo Nickel odds range in this fight.
agreed.
Like, the skill set is so disparate here. I have nothing else to add here. The only thing I will say is I haven't really been talking about the DraftKings side. In a week with like Bo Nickel and Shavkat and all these high priced guys, Shevchenko is going to be kind of weirdly underowned this week. And anytime she wins, she puts up like absolute, just massive scores. Like
Just a little more narrative to make you nervous, Lou.
I mean, 134. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I am nervous about that. Like, I think it's certainly live, but 134 against Maya in a decision, like 139 against Andrade finishing her, 108 against Murphy, and that's only because Murphy has a goddamn brick head.
She also took down Andrade 16 times in 2 rounds.
Right. So like when she wins
with body lock trips.
Yeah.
When she wins, she scores like, and she throws so many strikes. She scores well on the feet. She scores well on the ground. She gets finished.
I wonder how much did she score when she faced Zombie Girl? Did they have that number? When she landed like 300 strikes before the fight was stopped?
She scored, Jesus Christ. This is the most she's ever scored, actually. She scored 160. She had 2 takedowns, 95 significant strikes, which is just, she had 77 against Santos, just to give you perspective. She had as many against Murphy, and Murphy had no resistance either.
Right.
And that was in double the amount of rounds. So yeah, 160 points, insane. But versus Scarmouche, let's say. Not many at all, 74. That's her worst score actually ever, except for the Nunez losses. But I still think she's a very solid play here.
Yep.
Like cash game play, absolutely, like 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I do agree that we're getting a little break on the Shevchenko price because of Santos minus 700. Like that's less than Ian Gary. I don't get it. Ian Gary has a way better chance of losing to Keenan Song than Valentina has to losing to Alexa Grasso in a 5-round title fight. That's wild to me. Grasso is handsome, Moise says. Sure. That's not very nice. But we'll move on to the main event.
But did we get sense pick?
Did you watch my bad sense?
Well,
every time I don't start at the top or bottom, I get confused. It's not you.
I'm not gonna lie to you boys. I am kind of waffling on this one a little bit. I'm waffling on whether Valentina is gonna fucking smash her face in or submit her. Like, how does Grasso lose all her fights? She gets fucking out grappled. Bitch lost to fucking Felice Herrig. You do not lose to Felice Herrig and beat a Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina is gonna smash her, dude. Somehow, I really can't decide. Dude. I can see the TKO leading to a sub or vice versa. Like sub attempts, she fights out of them, and because she thinks she's a grappler, and then gets fucking just elbowed to death. Something like that. Valentina by something.
I like it. We are all on Valentina by something. We're on to the main event. I've got to say, it's nice with this card where the main card isn't super competitive, that it ends up with a fight that is extremely competitive. I do feel John Jones and Cyril Gane is the second best heavyweight fight you can make right now, or maybe third without Ngannou in there in one or the other senses. I think this is a really fascinating fight. For me, you can go back and watch the tape on Jones. I think it's pretty much useless. This is where I've kind of come with this fight. Originally, I was all over Jones, ragdoll, and it still could very well happen. But I just don't trust that Jones is as prepared as what's being sold here. I think that the 3 years off is just, I've never been a huge fan of it. I do not think he spent the last 3 years training and getting better and improving. I think he spent a lot of it living his life out of the limelight so he can live it the way he wants. And I don't think he looks like he's in this crazy shape that we saw kind of early on with the weightlifting and the deadlifts and all the, like a year or two ago when he was coming to heavyweight. Like, he looks fine to me. I don't really like either guy's camp. So, like, I've heard brought up a lot the Avengers of John Jones with Jorgen De Castro, Maurice Green, and Walt Harris. Like, you literally couldn't think of three kind of worse training partners who've made the top level than that. And the way that John Jones is speaking of these guys being like, Jorgen De Castro is indestructible. He hits harder than anybody. Maurice Green hasn't missed a practice in 3 years. He's missed fights, so that's impressive. And that it's just, but then Gane is, like commentating for one of his fat training partners in Aries, where he's like raving about him as he's struggling and just like he's, warming up with Alan Badeau and things like this. The thing to me is MMA's changes a lot in 3 years. And John Jones wasn't looking his best as he left MMA the first time. I think I don't see him coming back better than ever here. I just think that him not getting a tune-up fight at heavyweight, I get it. John Jones is the GOAT. He doesn't need a tune-up fight at, heavyweight. And, but we haven't seen how he's going to carry this weight. We haven't seen if he's going to commit to that wrestling game. And I get Gane got wrestle fucked against Francis Ngannou with knee pads. I get that. And that's like, ugh, bad. Every other time someone has tried to grapple him at all, it is just like not even been close. And I do think Gane is somebody who's become more and more committed to MMA. He's still very new to the sport. But these past 3 years, John Jones, his last fight was against Dominic Reyes. Okay. And he struggled in that fight. Fine. He beat him. But look at how Dominic Reyes has looked in those last 3 years. Look at how much can change in 3 years. I just think that him not having a warm-up fight, I think weight classes matter. I think Gane wins this fight, dude. I have come to the decision. There are way too many unknowns in this spot that if Jones comes out and looks like a force and wrestles the whole time, I'm wrong. Great. And then, we're seeing John Jones at heavyweight. I'm looking forward to seeing what it is. I think Gane is getting so disrespected coming into this fight. I just don't believe that Jones really believes these tweets he's putting out saying like that Gane's not that special. And if he is thinking that, I think he's going to be in for a kind of a rude awakening as well. The takedown defense is the key here. If Gane hasn't improved hugely in that, and if Jones sticks to the wrestling, obviously I think Jones can take this. I don't think Jones does that. Like, I really don't. Like, I think Jones is going to mix it up here. I think this is going to be a very close fight. It could even be a split where Jones does have some success with the wrestling as the fight goes, but doesn't stick to it. And there's kind of some back and forth rounds. I don't know, man. Like, I think that Gane is the more known commodity right now. I like that he's fighting in his weight class. I don't think Gane is going in there determined to just get a finish. I think he can do a chess match with John Jones, which I know is like, that's crazy, but it all comes down to those takedowns. It all comes down to the wrestling of Jones's commitment to that. And, I don't really care about the narrative of a possible injury with Jones, but it is very interesting. If Jones is coming into this fight a little bit injured, if that's why he's doing all these pool workouts is because, the back is a little bit off. Your back's pretty important for wrestling. If he's not able to wrestle here on the feet, who wins this fight in 25 minutes? Cyril Gane. So for me, Cyril Gane's been fighting the last 3 years. John Jones hasn't. The days of like the New Mexico camp being the top of the food chain, those are kind of a little bit gone here. And honestly, I think Gane, doesn't embarrass Jones at all. I think this is a great fight. I think it's going to be a war. I just think Gane edges it. So I got Gane by decision in the card of decisions. Why wouldn't it end with a decision? So Cyril Gane plus money for me. We'll start with Lou.
So the first tracked bet I put in this week was this fight to end in split decision.
I like
and
it.
To bet both ends of it, plus 500 for the split. Gane plus 1,200. Jones plus 800. I have no bet on a side yet. I have no reason to because I'm probably it's going to be Gane or pass for me. And the money's still coming in on Jones a little bit. I assume tons of casual money is going to come in on Jones like a couple of hours before.
All of the advertisement, all of the embedded, like they just put up, like the UFC put up on the YouTube today, like or yesterday, like one moment from every John Jones fight. There's been zero mention of Cyril Gane because of what happened against Francis Ngannou and because he's not very interesting. Jones is getting all of the love coming into this week, yet the line is showing. I mean, this line, is still very close for a reason. But yeah, go ahead.
So there's so many unknowns, but like there's just two things that I think are important here. With all this extra weight, do we know that Jones can have 5 rounds of wrestling cardio? I don't know that he can. It's a lot of extra muscle to have that 25-minute wrestling cardio. And number two, like you look back at like Jones's career, he's always had a tremendous speed advantage. I don't know that he has a speed advantage here. Like, I don't. I mean, Gane is like a crazy good athlete. He's so fast, and he's great at like darting in, landing 3-4 punch combos, then getting out of range. I mean, like Gane's, maybe he's not the most exciting guy ever, but like he's smart. He fights well beyond his experience in terms of his abilities. I know people love the finish here, like, but man, the over 4.5 minus 145. Never been finished. I mean, Court can't finish Jones. Only like a DQ finished Jones ever. Like, so, and not only that, but like the stakes of this fight, I think it's going to be a feeling out process. If you want to take a finish, it's probably 4-5 at best, but I think it's going all the way. I think it actually might be a little more boring than people think. I think it could be.
I agree.
But give me the plus money, but I'm waiting. Like, there's no reason to bet this until like the card starts. I mean, you could get Gane at plus 180 by the time this goes off. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, and Gane wins this fight, and if he wins it impressively, particularly, that Francis Ngannou fight gets quickly forgotten, and then we have a new kind of superstar for this division.
Then Stipe comes back.
And then he gets to embarrass Stipe. Yeah, exactly. Like, whoever wins this fight gets the prize of beating a geriatric Stipe Miocic. So, like, if that's not motivation for you, I don't know what is. A Stipe Miocic win in 2023. What the hell does that mean? That dude is made out of straight up wood at this point. Just my 2 cents. What is your thoughts on this fight?
Oh my God. This is going to take all my fucking willpower, my questionable willpower to fucking not waffle on this dude, because I am such a fucking notorious John Jones hater, and I am just an obnoxious Cyril Gane stan, dude. So this is like really hard for me to like just take whatever I say with a fucking grain of salt. Like, you cannot take this shit at face value. Dude, the last couple fights John Jones had, it was starting to look like the game was passing him by a little bit. Like, it's particularly the Dominic Reyes fight. I've watched that fight several times. He fucking lost. Like, Reyes won the first 3 rounds. I don't care what anybody says. The problem for me with this is like what you said about the embedded shit and like all the promo and like the narrative. If I had to guess who the narrative would be for, probably
completely Jones. Completely Jones.
At another, to see him at another weight class and how he does. And you mentioned the casual money. Like, I'm sure it is coming in on Jones. And like, from a pure betting standpoint, which is not like exactly my specialty, I would say looks like Gane or pass. Like, I agree with what Lou said. I think Gane's going to have the speed advantage. I think he's the faster fighter. It's just the X factors are always what wins Jones. I don't know if it's really X factors, but it's like his toughness. The dude has a really fucking like solid ass chin. His like fight IQ. He's kind of a dumbass outside of the cage, but in the cage, he always seems to like do the right thing a lot of the time. And like, he's a good fucking wrestler. And I just don't like it was a bad look seeing him get out like this Gane, seeing him get out grappled by Francis. Like, if Jones does put his wrestling shoes on, I think it could look really, really fucking one-sided.
When is the last time he did that?
I know. And dude, I know. And this is the other thing. If I pick Jones and Gane beats him, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to live with myself, because I picked against that motherfucker literally for years now, dude. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to take that. I might end up waffling and picking Gane. Right now, my pick is Jones.
Okay.
But like, dude, he could look slow as fuck. It's been 3 years. Like, I do think Gane is kind of the new breed of fighter, and I've been a huge stan of his. I do see him, like, if it stays on the feet, Gane's gonna fucking piece him up. If Reyes is piecing you up, Gane is gonna fucking tune you up like a fucking car that needs to be tuned up. God damn it. I just like, I don't know, dude. I'm waffling real bad on this one. Right now it's Jones. I could end up switching it, but that's all I got. This is going to be a great fight, though.
And yes, I know Jones has taken down Daniel Cormier. Just before someone puts that, I get it. Lewis, what's your thought? I know I've talked to you about this fight. I'm fairly sure I know where you're on, and I know that you're probably surprised at my pick there. But what's your thoughts?
No. I completely understand why people are on Gane or on Jones. I get both sides of it, and I think a lot of what it comes down to is no one knows what kind of John Jones you're going to see. You don't know whether you're going to get the same one that left 3 years ago that looked. Like you can say maybe time was passing him by or he was looking lackluster. I think, to be honest, he was just bored.
Right.
I think he was just over and
That's
over
fair.
just defending his belt because a couple fights before that he got the talk from Gustafsson and he went, okay, I'm going to shut him up now because of the whole controversy with the first fight. Because, I scored that first fight for Gustafsson. I know some people did, some people didn't, right? Mm-hmm. That's a very subjective fight because of what you score is, what's critical. So I understand where people come from with Jones. Are we going to see him lose his speed advantage? Okay, probably. But you're going to see, hopefully, a lot more power. So there's the turning point. Cyril Gane doesn't knock anyone out with one clean shot. Doesn't happen. He did it to... He knocked out, obviously, Taito Avasa, but it wasn't with, like, one power clean shot.
It was to the body, and then he eventually...
It was just work and work and work and constant poking and prodding. And Jones's hardest thing is he can close that distance at light heavyweight like that. Instant, because he's longer. He's got is he the biggest reach in UFC still? He's always been the faster athlete. His IQ is off the charts, right? People have had time to catch up, and there are people as good as Jones, in my opinion, pound for pound. Apologies for the squeaky dog toy there in the background. But the hardest part for him is going to be closing that distance to get someone that is so brilliant at moving in Cyril Gane. Like, yes, if you grab hold of Cyril, he's got holes in his game, right? Granted. But again, you got like rehydrated 300-pound fucking Francis Ngannou lifting you up. He's going to do that to anybody, regardless of how good his wrestling skill is. Cyril Gane is a master at distance, at prodding your fucking stomach, just teeping and stabbing you. I mean, he destroyed him to the point Ty was pissing blood for 3 weeks after that. He will chop Jones's legs to bits, and the reach advantage is only going to be a couple inches, which Jones is, other than Gustafsson, never really experienced. And there was a massive skill discrepancy basically with those two fighters. Anyway, I think Gane is a much harder test than Ngannou for the stylistic matchup of Jones. But saying that, I think Jones is. I mean, he's ready. It's John Jones. Like, at the end of the day, for me, he will close that gap. He will take some shots. He's always had a great chin. He can take a few. And the fact that he did half his career high and still whitewashed everyone, like that's it. Just
he can still do it if he is.
He snorted a line of cocaine, came in the next day and dropped Lyoto Machida on his face unconscious. He's the youngest champ ever to do these sort of things. The pressure of the spotlight of coming back 3 years, like, it's not going to faze him. You don't care. It's not going to be a thing of where they're promoting only Jones, so therefore, it's all going to come on him. Like when they promoted was Rousey. And then Holly, they didn't do any promotion for Holly Holm, and then Holly Holm does that. All the pressure is on that. But Jones pressure doesn't exist with Jones. He just deals with it and he gets through it because he's that guy. And I think this could easily go decision. It could easily be. I don't think Gane's going to finish the fight in any way. I think if Gane's going to win, it will be by decision. But I think if Jones wins, it'll either be by decision or he will just make him look like a child. It will be okay. John Jones is back, and this is 3.0. This is fresh. Hopefully, no PEDs in him or anything, or I don't know, whatever drugs he's got. He could do everything under the sun for all I care. But I think if he gets inside his legs, if he gets a single leg or a double leg or gets him against that cage, Von Gamin's going to hit the mat. And the difference between him and Francis on top is Jones can submit you.
Mm-hmm.
Like Francis doesn't know any submissions. He's just laying on you, like hitting his kettlebells in your face.
Yeah. If Cyril goes for a heel hook, I will break my television.
Dude, like that's what I'm worried about. The intellect,
the lack
Cyril
of IQ
on the ground.
Yes,
that he has. He will fully be training takedown defense, but you don't learn takedown defense to defend someone against John Jones in that amount of time, especially training with Alan Badeau. So I know Cyril Gane is extremely clever striking.
Mm-hmm.
John is not, for his first statement at heavyweight for a belt, he is not going to take the let's just strike with him. Fuck it. He's not. He's just going to pick him up, slam him down, grab his arm and snap it. And I think John, I do think it's an easy pick. I understand completely why people will be on Cyril because of the unknowns of John, but there's my rant over. I'm waffling as well. So yeah, right. I'm on John by wherever the fuck he wants on the ground. I think it'll be a ground finish.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, that's good stuff. Lou, did you cover kind of the DraftKings angle and everything?
I think you can actually fade this.
Okay.
I don't think, Gane doesn't typically score well, and I don't see him getting a finish. And honestly, I don't think Jones gets a finish here either. I really think it's kind of a slog. So I don't think it's, Jones has more potential because he gets the takedowns, but there's one bet I forgot to mention, and we waited till the end for it.
Oh, yes, the Yambagu.
And it's what you're all here for, and it's this fight. Because any fight that John Jones is in, you have to bet the point deduction because he is a dirty, dirty, dirty man who does weird shit.
Every fight, he has the most eye pokes in UFC history. I always say this.
If I could bet specifically the eye poke, I would.
Oh, it would be juiced.
Now, the problem with this bet is how many times does he have to do it for them to really take a point here? Because you're saying 2, but like
usually it's 3 or more.
It depends who's the ref. I know Goddard is now tight on 2.
If it's Mark Smith, then you lost the bet.
Oh,
the bet's over.
Yeah.
Mark Smith is like a cop in Philly where like you could murder somebody and they're like, hey man, stop. But if you double parked, you're going to jail.
See that comment there. That comment there is not right either. The last person Jones was able to wrestle with Anthony Darren Till Smith. No, the last person Jones decided to wrestle was Anthony Smith. Right. That's the answer.
Jones is good for like Jones is a good yam bag play, and also Garbrandt versus Trevin Jones because it's kind of a meme fight. And Lewis, there's actually a science behind the point deduction. The one thing that I look for is southpaw versus orthodox. The stances are open, ball shots are more prevalent, and it's like a Garbrandt and Jones. Well, look, Wheezy like at the Yam Bag Institute, we actually like take this very seriously. So I like lefty righty meme fight. I think it's very possible. The only other lefty righty fight I saw on the card was Mana against Simon. I guess it's possible there, but give me Jones for all the Yam Bagu plus 2,000. Ship it.
I like it. So just really quick, we're going to wrap it up. We're over 2 hours here. I'm not going through quick picks, so I'll take another 20 minutes. First of all, great show from the 3 of you guys. Really appreciate you guys making the time to join me. And I feel like this was extremely helpful for me and hopefully for everybody else listening out there. I think the perspectives that we each brought were not hopefully repeating things. But really quick, my 5-fight Zhang Li parlay. It's going to have 6 fights in it just because Bo Nickel. I'm going to throw it in there for fun because, this is, again, my $20.
Get that extra 5 cents on the play.
Exactly. Exactly. Like Bo Nickel's going to cost it. But I am going to go with the Fareed pick just because I do think that even though the price is wrong, this is the 5-piece. I don't really look into the value that heavily, but I like Fareed. I like Marc-Andre Barrio. I like the Vivian Araujo for the plus money on it as well. Bo Nickel joins me, and then Shavkat and Shevchenko close it out there. So that would be the 6 I would do for my kind of square parlay there on the card. But go ahead, go back and listen. I'll have the timestamps up right after this. Lou Betya, tell people where they can find you the rest of the week and everything like that.
Recording the prop show today with Addicted to Combat, Patrick, and my guy Cody from Blood Money. That'll be on the MMA Engine channel later, Friday 5:30 for the happy hour for all your last minute DFS and betting stuff.
Look at this comment. Thank you, Aaron Michael Chiesa.
I think he's called me that before. Hey man,
and Barton MMA in honor of Jordan Barton from England. Is that a Jordan Barton?
I don't know who that is.
Cage Warriors guy who lost.
Oh,
yeah. How what an honor, but yeah.
And then Friday night on Aaron, if I may.
Yeah, please.
Friday night on
your plugs.
DFS by the Numbers channel for the best bets panel competition. I am inconceivably winning out of 10 cappers right now through 2 events each.
Yeah. Sorry about that, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. But yeah, no, definitely check out Lou on the prop show and on Friday night as well. I'll be checking that out. 2 cents. What's up for you the rest of the week? Shout out to the fellow Mecca ex-member here as we embark on this war here.
Yeah, man. Thank you, as always, for having me. This is always a really fucking good time. Lou, Norton, dude, good to be on panel with you. I hope we make it happen again sometime soon. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to, the Rabid Dog. I fucking missed the stream last night, so I hope he doesn't kill me. But I caught up on it, and definitely looking forward to the Mecca. These are some tough picks, man. Friday, I'm going to do the weigh-in stream. I'd like to do like a ceremonial weigh-in pregame, but we'll see. I'll keep everyone updated on that. But dude, thanks again. Good shit. Best of luck, everybody. Peace.
Yeah, great stuff as well. And then, Lewis, I know that real life is caught up a little bit. That's why, I had to go out and find these other scrubs to come in here and do the show with me. But it's definitely a different flavor. But we really, honestly, you're welcome anytime. You know this. My channel is your channel at any point. Literally, this is your StreamYard to this day. So are you coming back to the YouTube world anytime soon?
Anytime soon, probably not. We're definitely, the channel is open for whenever I feel like venting an opinion again. And if anyone wants to have a chat, just invite me on. It's no problem at all. And I'll try and get on for 286 because it's down the road from me. Yep. So... And I'm at Cage Warriors with the media pass anyway on the Friday. So see if I do anything there with it. Or I'm just going to use the media pass to sit cage side either way.
Yeah. But we'll try to at least start working.
I'll ask Dan to send you some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I'm already
doing full reptile up.
Yeah, you should tell Dan to just at this point we're signed up. I've been advertising full reptile.
You owe him 3 months per.
Yeah, exactly. 3 months free of charge here. So. Shout out to everybody in the chat, 20 plus viewers. Really appreciate everybody. Really active chat as well. That was Chico in the background, my dog, not the dog who was barking. That was Fitz. But I am going to be covering Friday's MMA tomorrow or tonight. So it depends on when I feel like it, frankly. But I'm going to cover the PFL Challenger Series this week, as well as dip into the Octagon a little bit for the first time. So if you want to see me butcher a bunch of Eastern European names, check that out because I'm still working on that. But for Lou, for Lewis, for just my 2 cents and Aaron the dog, good luck on your bets this weekend and keep taking care of each other out there. Peace out. For always